What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another LaserDisc Wolfpack THX CAV Special Limited Edition podcast. I am your host, Sam Culturedog Hatch, and we are back doing another deep dive into one particular LaserDisc and one film in particular that I know all of you love out there. But there's been plenty of tea and blood spilled over this film. So it's going to be, you're going to be hearing some things you probably heard before, but I'm going to first introduce everyone on the panel before we really dig into it. Up first is my man, Ryan Cushing.
Thank you, Sam. Tonight's podcast is brought to you by Episode 1 Pod Racer Tumbler with water in it.
Now that's pod racing.
And then I will pass it off to Hayden.
Everyone, Hayden here. We're glad to be back. I missed the last one where we talked about, or y'all talked about, bad covers. So today's episode is sponsored by the Darth Maul lightsaber.
Whoa!
So I'll pass it on to Chris.
What's up, guys? I'm brought to you by a mug of coffee from the Panther pandemic, the school I was teaching at during COVID. And really, I'm sponsored by the now famously defunct Dolby Digital EX 6.1 system, which I don't think anyone still has in 20. God damn it.
Ryan sponsored by Pepsi all of a sudden.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah.
I'm going to pass it off to Maxine.
I am sponsored by Alien Green Cup Water.
Ooh.
And Padme-inspired hat. Queen.
Quality.
I'm never gonna say her name right. I've always struggled with
Queen
it.
Amidala?
Yes, thank you.
No problem. Oh no, we lost Marcus. He can't introduce
I
himself.
was gonna do her makeup, but I figured the hat is enough.
Oh wait,
Queen Portman.
he's back. Let him in. Come on, Marcus. Hey, you're back. Hopefully. With no audio.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, just in time.
All right, cool. So, what's up, everybody? Marcus here. I guess tonight, I'm always brought to you by water, but I've got the OG Star Wars shirt on tonight, so really looking forward to this topic, this movie.
Excellent. And I'm Kylo Ren is off tonight. I'm sponsored by Dunkin' Donuts, a cup of water.
How could you forget the Star Wars cup?
Hilariously, I bring Kylo to every other episode except the Star Wars episode because I'm wacky. I got the shirt though, so.
Well, he doesn't want to confuse trilogies.
Yeah.
Very true.
Exactly. But yes, Star Wars. This is exciting because we got panelists of different ages, so we're gonna have different perspectives, possibly, on this film, Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. I was a big fan of Star Wars during the weird 80s dark times when it was suddenly not the hot zeitgeist, got to talk about thing. And it started to become, the toys were discounted at KB and Toys R Us, and Ewoks and droids were on TV, and nobody really cared about it. But all of a sudden I'm hearing stories about George Lucas bringing it back. He's telling everyone it's going to be a dark, independent Godfather style series that's about politics and power plays that nobody's going to want to watch because it's so dark. So I'm like, yeah, this sounds pretty cool. And then meanwhile, THX, ILM projects like, Jurassic Park led to the revival of the original series as the special editions, which paved the way to what we're going to talk about. And especially the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles linked up Lucas with a guy called Rick McCallum, who kind of created a new paradigm shift in Lucas's operating procedures. And then all of a sudden on May 19th, 1999, The Phantom Menace dropped in theaters and the world went crazy. So we're going to talk about it on LaserDisc in particular, and of course you can hold it if you got it. Because it was a Japan-only release. It never got a domestic copy over here in the States and was imported heavily. But yeah, I'm just intrigued as to what everybody on the panel's first encounter was with this film. Did you see it in the theaters and how'd it go over, etc.? Ryan, I'll go with you first.
Yeah, so I would have been 15 when I saw it. And I grew up watching Star Wars on cable. And I was, kind of excited because I liked watching Star Wars. I really liked Star Wars. I had some of the toys. I mean, it was cool shit again. And the special editions, I saw those in the theaters, and they weren't as cool as the originals because they, added dance sequences and more of C-3PO sitting
rocks.
in the theater. Yeah, exactly. So like, I should have been like, oh, he's gonna fuck this up because he'd already started. But no, I went into it. I'm like, this is gonna be awesome, and well, it was a movie.
Right.
Yeah,
I appreciate your candor. Yeah,
I wanted to like it. I just.
And of course, we've all revisited it. Some people in theaters, and I think everyone did check it out on LaserDisc, hopefully again too as well. So we'll get into that. But Hayden, how did your first experience go with this film?
I was 4, and we got it on VHS.
Sweet.
I watched it. I knew nothing about Star Wars. We were not a big Star Wars household. Neither of my parents are really big Star Wars fans. And I didn't realize that this was a prequel to anything. I thought this was just Star Wars. And up until I was probably in middle school, I thought this was Star Wars.
Yeah, fair enough.
And then someone explained to me, no, there's 6 movies. There's 6 movies in this entire set. And they made 4 through 6 first, and then they made 1 through 3. This all sounded like homework to me. So I just didn't really get into it, really until I got into LD, and then actually got interested in watching the original trilogy, and then realized, oh, these are good movies, and the prequel is worse.
Vinny's too good to join us, but he's in the chat saying he was 4 too, plus 26. Do the math. Oh yeah, there was also a shout out for Lucasfilm's Radioland murders too. The most exciting project in the 80s. But anyways, moving on. Chris, what was your first experience? Did you get to see this in theaters?
The story goes, depending on which day you ask my dad, he'll say yes. He took the youngest Howlers to see episode 1. I know for a fact we saw episode 2 in the theaters, but there are days where he's like, yeah, I just don't know. But we did get it on VHS tape. I remember having the VHS. We skipped the DVD because we didn't really buy a lot of DVDs. That was the rental era. I think people don't talk often enough about how everyone just rented the heck out of DVD. And then it came out on Blu-ray. It's a movie that's just kind of always been around in my life. I have a lot to say about it, but also not that much at the same time.
I get
that.
But
I did see it in theaters in 2012 when Lucas decided he was going to 3D-ify every single one of the Star Wars movies. Episode 1 hit. I did see it in 3D, and then Disney bought Star Wars the next year and said, cut that shit out.
We're done with the 3D.
I think in general, I have lots more that I like about this movie than I don't. But I feel like we have a lot to dish on. There's a lot of just slop all over the place.
Yeah, it's dense. Yeah, there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, it's like the least dense movie.
Yes.
That has ever been made in a blockbuster setting.
Yeah, we should just really break it up into segments, like horrible pieces of dialogue and go, and then just let that roll for like a half hour.
We're here for 4 hours.
Yeah, exactly. Maxine, what was your first encounter with the Phantom Menace?
I am near positive that I saw it in theaters. I cannot do math, nor will I disclose the year or age in which this was seen.
Well, we know it was 99 but you could have seen it in 2012 when it came on 3D.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
That I don't remember. But I do remember seeing it. I remember the ridiculous level of like Burger King, McDonald's tie-in. Everywhere you went, there's a freaking Jar Jar head on a cup. Everything was it. It was, yes, that pod racing imagery of Anakin's face is burned into my mind more than the rest of the entire film is. I honestly, this is the first, like watching this on LD last night was the first, exactly. Like that is so in my brain. That is so in my brain that like, I don't remember anything other than that from that time period. And Jar Jar. I remember Jar Jar. I remember literally nothing else. I remember Padme. I remember her. I remember it being Natalie Portman and it being this, big thing. But those are the three takeaways. I had the original trilogy growing up on VHS. I only watched the one that has snow and nothing else.
Empire Strikes Back. Yeah.
Yes, and for my whole life, like pretty much was not invested enough to ever remember which one I actually liked. I just know that it had snow in
The snow
it.
one. Yeah.
Yes, so it was the snow one that I liked, and I enjoy these. I love this type of thing. It's like it's really good, but it's just not something where I'm not into the lore. I can't. I honestly haven't seen the 4, 5, 6 recently enough to have had enough for this to be all that like comparative.
Sure.
Like this
yeah.
felt fresh seeing it because I hadn't seen it since it was brand new.
Nice. So it was a good good excuse to rewatch it to do this podcast.
Yes, definitely.
Ryan, can you set up another like laptop and just put an extra camera on the feed with Anakin's face for the rest of the show?
Please. Burned into my brain.
Probably
Wait a minute.
could,
Which shot of Anakin's face?
The
Anakin
Anakin.
Just his little
Just the
Pepsi
poster.
display, preferably just like held up directly in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Totally.
I mean, we could do a podcast on just merch too. Like
For
I
sure,
had that
yeah.
cup. I had the episode 1 3D puzzle.
Oh my god.
What
I
were
had some
the-
action
the-
figures that my grandmother bought me with the Tech-Com chips or whatever, but
I remember the freaking Darth Maul piggy bank head.
nice.
I definitely had like some board game about the battle for Naboo that was like today it'd be like one of those indie board games that gets kickstarted, but like
Yeah,
back
for sure.
then
Yeah.
it was ridiculous.
So Marcus, what was your first encounter with Phantom Menace? Did you see it in theaters
All right.
as a child?
Yeah, so I wasn't a child. I was 17. I was
Yeah.
a senior in high school.
Okay, all right.
And it was a very big deal.
Yes.
Very big deal. I saw it very soon after it dropped with friends. I know I went with my best friend to see it. Backing up, historically been a Star Wars fan all my life. I was born in 81. I grew up on the original trilogy toys.
Yes.
I had birthday parties with Star Wars themes. So
Yes.
it was a huge deal in my life to that point. So much so that I can remember I had friends who cut school to go see the special editions when they came out.
Nice.
And I remember seeing the special editions, and I was so used to the original trilogy, unaltered obviously, that the changes jarred me like a lot of people. And my thoughts going into Phantom Menace were, Lucas has always said he's now got way more tools in his arsenal to do these films. So I had very high expectations that it wasn't going to look, like this CGI that's out of place like it does in the original trilogy, but it was going to be fully seamless. And we were just going to get the type of experience that Lucas like always wanted to give us in the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
Additionally, backstory on Darth Vader, I was super excited about that. Like that was probably the thing that I was most excited about going into this film, was finding out, and really we didn't know how far it was going to go. So I said, well, where are the seeds that are planted to go down the path of the dark side? Like that's what I was looking for.
Yeah, the poster
going into
art
this movie
promised something
Yes.
the film never delivered, with the shadow of
Right.
Darth Vader behind Anakin the kid.
So the whole film, I'm waiting for these seeds, and Yoda kind of he kind of alludes to it. We'll get to that, the famous line that Yoda makes at the Jedi Council. But I was waiting for that moment where it's like, okay, he's starting down the path
Yeah.
as a kid, right? And we never really got the exact moment.
Yeah.
Not in this film.
For sure.
Yeah.
Myself.
But
Yeah,
ultimately, I was I had very mixed feelings coming out of the movie. There were some things that I loved that were even to this day, some of the best stuff we've ever seen by way of Star Wars are in this film, I think. And then there were just some things that are absolutely the worst. And so I was really conflicted. And I wasn't necessarily super excited to see episode 2 after this. But yeah, I was very conflicted coming out of this.
Yeah, myself, I grew up with the original trilogy. I'm old, so I saw A New Hope back when it was Star Wars in 1977, but not on May 25th because it didn't come into my neighborhood until July 13th, but whatever. So I was psyched, and like I said, I went through that dark period in the 80s where I literally would have dreams, nightmares, about going to see a new Star Wars film. And it had, Han Solo and it had Princess Leia, but it just sucked. And like, I'd be like so disappointed in my dreams. It was like my recurring nightmare was to go see a Star Wars film that sucked in the theaters.
At least you got to live out your dreams.
My dream came true in 1999, but it didn't even have Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher. It just had.
I meant like 20, whatever it was.
99 rolled around, and I wasn't really that zazzed about the trailers. There's some interesting kind of behind the scenes talk about the trailers that the first teaser was cut to kind of promise a film that wasn't actually there when it was edited. And so it kind of got people excited, but I don't know. At first I thought the title was a little goofy and things like that, but I was like, I'm going to go see it anyways because it's Star Wars. But I can still remember being in the cinema during those opening bits with the, Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon running around the ship and just thinking, wow, man, it was all about the vibe. And I'm like, the vibe is completely different here. So I don't think this is the Star Wars film for me. So it might be a Star Wars film for another generation. And like Marcus said, it's a film of extremes. There's not a lot of dynamic range. It's all like Roger Rabbit zaniness on one end,
and then 48 hours.
And then, stoic Jedis and stoic princesses on the other end, and really not much in between. We'll get into it. But yes, Star Wars: The Phantom Menace. It's the prequel. It ostensibly tells you about the death of the kind of beginnings of the death of the Old Republic and how the Empire came into power and how Emperor Palpatine came into power. So there's a lot of kind of political dynamics and intrigue there that Andor did way better. But anyways, You're gonna get that here, and then along the way, meet a bunch of new characters, new Jedi characters, and some beloved favorites will come back, like Yoda, except he's stoned, C-3PO, except he's naked, and R2-D2, and Obi-Wan is back, except he's a character from Trainspotting all of a sudden, so he's
Obi-Wan, who just takes a break for 2/3 of the movie, just like sits on a chair and spins around in circles.
He's on a walkie-talkie the whole film.
Part of the fun of this was revisiting it, and he's really checked out in this movie.
Literally on a walkie-talkie.
No wonder he gets kicked off of a level in the middle of the duel. He's been sitting. His back is probably in tatters that whole movie.
Yeah, the poor guy. Yeah, he's just he looks kind of bemused and he's even a complete jerk to Jar Jar, like straight up.
Oh my God,
I don't blame him for that.
Yeah,
I'm a Jedi and I have to deal with this idiot. Come on.
Qui-Gon is also a huge dick to Jar Jar for most of the movie.
True. Yeah.
But what drives me nuts is that Obi-Wan is the only character, unless you count Emperor Palpatine, that is like directly carried over from the original trilogy. It should be like the connective tissue for everybody, and he's just
C-3PO?
the biggest.
Yeah, R2-D2.
R2-D2.
Correct.
But
I think there's sand people.
Counts.
Yeah, there are sand people. Yeah.
Well, that one.
Is there a Greedo?
Okay, I'm gonna say.
There's like a baby Greedo.
There was a baby.
Listen, don't come for Baby Greedo. He's my favorite character.
He's my favorite too. I died when I saw him.
What I'll say about C-3PO and R2-D2 is they have such like minimal functions in the movie that they're basically
he's naked.
just glorified.
He's skinless.
Yeah, at least R2 gets to be
but
part
what
of
does
things.
he do in this movie other than say, "I'm alive, I can't see, I'm naked"?
R2 is at least an astromech droid put into a space fighter at one point.
R2. There's that shot in the movie where R2-D2 has a private meeting with the Queen's Council.
Yes.
Because he saves the ship. And I'm just sitting there just like...
This brave little droid.
Oh my God.
Like, why do we have time in this movie?
Yep.
Because he was destined for greatness. That's what they're trying to tell us, right?
Yeah.
C-3PO got just left back in the sand dunes. He's like, thanks for being my friend. Peace. Like...
But they pick him up.
Hopefully, Mom doesn't sell you. That was the message. Hopefully, Mom doesn't sell you.
See ya.
Yeah, like you were cool and all, but I gotta go be a Jedi now.
Yeah.
You know what? Jake Lloyd has one good scene in that movie, and it's when he's like, "I don't know if I can do it, Mom," and his mom's like, "You gotta go and follow
Suck
your
it up.
dreams."
Yeah.
Don't look back.
You're Space
Don't look
Jesus.
back.
Get out of here.
Like this movie does such a poor job with every single possible emotional beat,
Yep.
except for that one.
It is tough. I still remember the kind of waiting for that thrill, and there's a moment of thrill at the beginning of the Boonta Eve race in the pod racers where the John Williams score is starting to swell, and it leads to a creature taking a farty kind of, I don't think he actually expels dung, but he just makes a fart. Yeah. And I'm like, well, that's this movie wrapped up in a bow.
And Jar Jar is like,
P.U.S.
Yeah.
oh my god.
But yeah, so you
Kinda
have
scary.
Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon. They're checking out some trade negotiations. Things go poorly. There's some great lightsaber work.
Wait a
there.
minute.
Yeah.
They're checking out some trade negotiations. Last time I checked, they sit at a table, and then the bad guys are immediately like, "Let's fucking kill these guys and get them the hell
Oh.
out of here."
They send in
There
female
were no
C-3PO.
The
negotiations.
negotiations were short or brief. Yeah.
Which is, I just, first of all, every single other Star Wars movie at that point, what did it start with? The first movie starts with a dramatic action sequence.
Yes.
The second movie starts with reintroducing Lord Vader and all that stuff. The third movie starts with
The
this
ominous
intrigue
Death
on the
Star
Death
stuff.
Star.
Yeah.
This one starts with two Jedi show up on a big ship and get
Yeah.
out and sit at a table, and
It's
they're
freaking-
served some tea.
Yeah. A droid
Star
shows up.
Star Wars Lethal Weapon is what it was. I was like, this is Lethal Weapon 48 hours cop drama with Star
Yeah.
Wars characters right now.
But at that point of the film, I was excited about one thing, and it was that the lightsaber action was a little bit more
Yes.
fluid, and there was martial arts mixed into the movement.
Yeah, like the only meaningful part of this opening sequence is as soon as they ignite their lightsaber blades, there's a little shot of adrenaline in this opening sequence.
Yes.
Yeah, the blades in the fog or whatever, the smoke, was fantastic. Like that was like, okay, we've got a chance here.
They
Yeah,
do a couple of
no.
interesting things with smoke in that movie. I think that and the shot of the guns
Coming through the
walking
mist.
out of the
Yeah.
mist of the swamp
Yeah,
are like
and
really
that was in
iconic
one of the
imagery.
original trailers too.
Yeah, that was like
right?
the lead
Yeah,
part
I
of
remember
the
that.
teaser. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, that's I don't know. So we're off to a weird start at that beginning for sure. It's just
Yeah, and it's like the crawl kind of says, "Hey, there's this trade federation.
Yep.
They're blockading the Naboo," but it's like, who the fuck are the Naboo?
yeah.
Like,
You know the Naboo.
who are the Trade
I'm with you.
Federation?
I'm with you, Haller. I remember the moment Star Wars pops up on the screen, we're all cheering in the theater, and I'm just feeling all tingly. And then I'm reading the crawl word for word, like I'm hanging on every single word, and I'm like, I can't figure out what's going. Like I don't understand the backstory. I don't understand how we're setting this up. I don't know where this is going.
And here's the worst part. Like, they never explain any of the backstory. You never really get to figure out if there's anything other than nefarious motivations for the Trade Federation.
Yep.
You never get any context into the... As far as I'm concerned, the Naboo are basically just an entire society of the 1%. Like, they're just all of the bougiest, like, standoffish people
Yep.
in science fiction.
And racist aliens. We got some interesting Trade Federation types coming in here. What do we think of our beloved alien characters?
Oh, you mean the Chinese
Yeah, they're
and Japanese stereotype?
very
It's not
over the
good.
top. Yeah. Again, one of the great things about the original trilogy was the inventive creativity of all the alien languages. And yeah, a lot of that is, I mean, there are some alien languages that play in the film, but there's also a lot of really, yeah.
I'm glad I wasn't the only one that felt that way. Like,
Yeah.
I was watching this thinking like, did they really do that? Like,
Yeah.
I don't remember any of that, and that does not feel right anymore.
Every single alien race in this movie is a cultural stereotype. You've
Yeah.
got
Except
like
for ET. Hey, don't pick on ET.
The
ET
ETs,
doesn't have
yeah.
spoken dialogue.
They're just like,
thank
yeah.
God.
like the guns are like almost like a minstrel-esque like caricature. Watto is allegedly like a Jewish stereotype.
Yeah, I've heard
James
Jewish
did.
and
Like-
Italian at different times, so nobody can agree on the stereotype, just that it is a stereotype.
I thought he was Gene Simmons.
Oh, that Also works. I mean,
Like,
he's a little
man,
shorter than Gene Simmons.
I
the
thought
movie
Gene
would have
Simmons
been 200% cooler if all of the alien species spoke their own language unless they were talking to like a human character, kind of like Watto does. But like they just drop the ball so hard and then they just keep knocking it down the stairs every time they open their mouths.
They have a real script writer for this movie, or was it just George Lucas?
It was George Lucas.
Yeah. And he had surrounded himself by yes men, and at that point.
And he literally has not matured since like he was 12.
No.
Like it's written like a 12-year-old boy would write a movie. Honest to God, it's just the parts where there's like he's trying to convey emotion, he can't. He just has no ability to do it. It's just like, does he know what love is? No.
Yeah.
I will say, this opening sequence, they pull out the lightsabers, they're mowing down these droids that do nothing. But then the destroyers show up.
Yeah.
And my whole life I've tried to figure out what the difference between calling them destroyer droids is and
Droidicas.
why the big guys call them droidicas.
Yeah.
And how come the Jedi seem to know what these things are, but they don't know that they're called droidicas? Are they like, it's just, oh my God, already it's just like, what the fuck?
It's the deep lore in the backstory. They just didn't have time to hash it all out, but it's there.
But they keep dropping proper nouns.
Kind of shit on the screen.
This is a $100 million plus movie full of proper nouns.
Yeah.
That has no exposition ever, except for one bit that has pissed everybody off for 25 years.
Midichlorians,
about midichlorians.
baby. Yeah.
That is the only exposition we get. Like, man, Liam Neeson's like, hey, there's a prophecy. I think he's the chosen one. They could have talked about that for like a minute and told us what that was.
Man, late 90s, I was getting so into like Taoism, and I was like rewatching Star Wars, and like, oh man, everything Yoda says really taps into this. This is awesome. And it's like, I'm really loving the philosophy of Star Wars. And then they just drop midichlorians on my head, and I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah, it's like this movie is so audience hostile. Like, Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, first of all, Qui-Gon Jinn is the coolest Jedi name ever.
Yeah, I can live with that. That's cool.
I think Liam Neeson turns in a very strange, distant, but interesting performance in this movie. But he's like, hey, let's get on their ships and ride them down to the planet. Yeah,
that's another thing. The lack of import and tension with pretty much all of the action scenes. A lot of the big finales, the kind of action scenes are hinged on goofy characters accidentally saving the day. And then you've got the Jedi who never seem bothered by anything, even the quote unquote dangerous scene traveling through the planet's core. And they're just like, yeah, whatever. Just casually zooming along.
I've driven a spaceship underwater before, no big deal.
Yeah. It's like a weird like amusement park ride just for the other creatures eating each other, but they really have no like there's no tension generated by
just
them.
a couple minutes of underwater Jurassic Park, no big deal.
Yeah.
So I watched the
I've always felt he did the underwater. That he created that underwater world just because he could. Because he had the technology to be able to do it.
For sure.
And he didn't have the technology 20 years before to do that, so he just put it in there.
It's a show reel.
It serves no purpose. Like,
I thought it was for like a Star Tours ride. It just looks so set up that way. Like it literally looks like Star Tours footage. Like
Star Tours was better written.
Yeah.
Good point.
All I'm going to say is they get down to the planet.
Yes, they're
and
on
then
Naboo.
They go down into the swamps. Well, first of all, Qui-Gon Jinn meets Jar Jar.
Yes.
Jar Jar goes moi moi, and then Qui-Gon Jinn delivers one of the coldest lines with like there's like no emotion behind it. He just goes, "The ability to speak does not make one intelligent."
Burn.
Like, could you imagine like Ed Harris delivering that line with like some grit and some gruff underneath it, and just going, "Oh."
He just needs like a hype man behind him. to really
and I know Liam Neeson can do tough guy because I'm alive right now and I've seen where his career goes.
I hadn't been there though. Like when he started, he'd done like thrillers and all kinds of like dramas and stuff.
Yeah,
he
Dark Man and Nell.
Now What was he
Well, I
fresh
think-
off of to get this role? That's what I was trying. Was it Rob Roy? What was he fresh off of?
Rob
He
Roy
did
was
Rob Roy.
96-ish, 95, 96, yeah.
Yeah, and so this puts him right in the line with it. He did Schindler's List, which
Yep.
was big. So I think that also colors
Even
my
casting.
perception is that, to me, Liam Neeson has always been
Oh,
Qui-Gon
Michael
Jinn.
Collins, too.
I don't even have like perspective of who he was before this. Everything is like it's a focal point on Qui-Gon Jinn for me because I was born in '95. So
You didn't watch Deception with Andy McDowell?
Ooh, Deception. Okay.
Look,
I
it's a
remember him
little
in High
spicy.
Spirits.
Yeah.
I've seen Batman Begins.
I've never heard of Deception with Andy McDowell.
Deception. You need to check it out.
Do we, though?
No,
Yeah.
it's trash.
That's the next
Well, so-
podcast episode. Yeah.
Okay, so he follows Jar Jar down to the underwater city.
Yeah, city, yep.
And they introduce like that there's a military hierarchy in the guns because he meets like a general.
Yep.
The general goes, "You saying big doo-doo this time."
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And then just my
Quality
brain
dialogue.
immediately flatlines.
Yeah.
Like, oh
Yeah.
my
You get
God.
Boss Nass, who does like crazy, like Roger Rabbit kind of mouth things. He's dripping slobber all over the place.
Oh, yeah. I
So
know.
I took a friend to see this in theaters recently. It played at the movie theater that I currently work at because it had a 2-week re-release.
Yes.
And he leans over to me and he just whispers, "Boss Nass is my favorite character in this movie."
I mean, there's something to love for everybody.
I mean, what I love is that Qui-Gon Jinn immediately declares who he is as a character by immediately manipulating Boss Nass into giving him a ship. Like,
I have something to say about that scene. Actually, when he uses the Jedi
Yeah.
mind trick. As a kid, I did not realize that that's what he was doing. Again,
it's
this
all
is the
fan
only
service,
Star Wars movie I
But
had
you
seen.
weren't the fan yet.
yeah.
Yeah, but like in A New Hope, it's very obvious that that's what Obi-Wan is doing. It is so well communicated that, when he's, you don't need to see his identification. And they repeat what he says verbatim back to him. And Luke, looks confused and everything. And then they don't really address it after the fact, but you don't need to because you know what's going on. This, he's just like, we could use a transport. And then Boss Nass just goes, we give you a transport. And it's like, he kind of just sounds like a reasonable guy to me.
He says, Misa be giving you the transport.
Yeah, and then
Take it through the planet core.
but then he
And
doesn't
the
wave his
ball.
hand and go, we shouldn't take it through the planet core. Like, he's just like, yeah, cool, we'll do
Yeah.
the dangerous thing.
Yeah,
And like
so,
rewatching it now, like I just want to, Jar Jar makes like a look of confusion when all this is going on. As a kid, I always thought that was because of the way Boss Nass like very sinisterly says the planet core.
Yeah.
That's what I thought he was concerned about. Like, oh no, these guys are going through the planet core. I need to go show them how to go through there. And then it didn't make sense that he doesn't know how to lead them through. He's just, in the passenger seat freaking out over.
And then can we talk about how the trip through the swamp, the planet core, is one of the most like biggest wastes of time in cinema?
Yeah.
Like they do nothing. They have no agency during that sequence. The power goes out for no reason.
Sure.
It's a ride.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
the Force
like
will guide
Marcus
them.
said.
It's no big deal.
It is a ride, Maxine. I like that
It's
point.
literally a ride. I'm like, this is a ride.
It's like
But-
you could tell
Then
it's a
you're,
spin-off.
oh no, we got it. We got to
But-
get the ship back going. Press the
but-
buttons in the machine.
I think
Missed
the
all of it.
podcast would make for a better theme park ride of some sort of like a motion simulator ride.
We should do it, yeah.
We're a little too late. I think 25 years later. and then they show up on the surface and right in the front of the Queen.
Of course. Just
and
like
the Queen,
little Space Italy section where the Queen is hanging out. Yep.
we can't skip over the classic Sio Bibble saying, blocking our communications could only mean one thing. Invasion. And it's like, all right.
Clearly, yeah.
It's like, all right, we've already gotten the point here.
Yeah, there's a lot of intrigue
And,
going on with the Queen and her crew, and not a lot of it's hitting home. And there's talk about her having to sign the treaty and sign over power, and then they want her to do this. And of course, the Emperor is grumpy when this isn't happening, and yeah, it's just not landing so far.
And then what happens? The Jedi show up. They jump down. Oh no! Before that, Newt Gunray, great name, terrible character. Newt Gunray says, send them to a concentration camp
Yes.
and process them.
Yeah, the Shrek, where all the Shrek kind of forest creatures were went and hold up. I'm assuming that's where they're going to put them.
Which is one of the darkest things that has ever been introduced.
Yeah.
We have to assume, based on the multiple messages being sent, that the Trade Federation are just mowing down the people of Naboo, while the rest of this podcast
If only we
race...
saw something like that happen.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of like watching the 2014 Godzilla, where it cuts away every time Godzilla shows up in the frame. It's just like, stop teasing me with actual storytelling and just storytelling.
We keep hearing about things happening, but every time we see Naboo, it seems pretty chill. Everyone seems fine.
There's only one city on Naboo, right?
Everyone's just
fancy-rich city.
Yeah, that's it.
It just seems like everyonene's inside.
Else, right?
And then Qui-Gon
it's
and
like
Obi-Wan,
COVID. Everyone's just in lockdown.
Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan free the Queen with some sick lightsaber action. Again, every time they ignite a blade, it's very fun.
It is wild being a huge fan of Oral Knots on YouTube, and I've watched their Space Wars reimagining of this so many times that it's almost impossible to watch the proper film now without reciting "Surprise, bitches!" when they jump off the balcony and start fighting everyone, because I've seen that like 1,000 times, and I've seen this only like 5.
Qui-Gon, I want to say it's in this scene where Qui-Gon delivers the most important line in the entire movie, where he says something along the lines of, "There's no logic in the Federation's move here."
Or in the script, yeah.
Or in the script.
Like even Qui-Gon Jinn's like, maybe we should investigate why they're invading your planet. Maybe we should think about this for a second, do some digging.
No, let's go to Tatooine instead.
Well, no, they take them to a hangar where for some reason every single pilot required to run the Queen's ship is just sitting next to the ship. Why?
They're just all sitting crisscross applesauce in a circle just off to the side of the hangar.
Just wait.
I love, and they have like droids with guarding them that all have like New York accents for some reason.
The Roger droids killed me. I mean, I heard it once, and I'm like, all right, that's. I hate the word cringe, but that's cringe. And then they kept saying it over and over again. I'm like, one, these droids are not menacing at all. They have blasters, sure, but an army of them is not going to make them any more menacing as long as they're going around going, Roger, or whatever.
I will say, I think that them walking through the gun shield in the final act of the movie is pretty intimidating with their rapid fire blasters and everything going off like that. But I agree.
It's
and they get characterized as cartoonish throughout all of Star Wars media after this movie.
The design is an issue. And again, I don't really love the design of much of anything from spacecraft. The pod racing pods, I don't love. It's funny just coming from Star Wars in '77, which was made on a relatively shoestring budget, just how iconic the production design of that is. It still ripples through time, and everything struggles and kind of loves to copy it. Andor, of course, was dripping in that style. But then this film, he's like, well, we'll roll it back, and the spaceships are more like 50s versus 70s muscle cars. And I don't know, they all just kind of look, I don't know, unexciting and unenthralling. I don't know.
And I like the pod racer design.
I hate those, man.
Basically,
so
you have a basket strapped to 2 rockets, or 4 rockets.
Yeah, they're all kind of flopping
basically,
around.
They're just trying to ride rockets as fast as they can through the desert and not kill themselves or each other.
It's a chariot race, but
it's listen.
Yeah.
And the pod race.
Yeah, I gotta say, I love the pod racers.
The pod race
screw you guys.
sequence,
I'm going home.
Especially the bad guy.
Especially in a good environment with a nice 5.1 surround sound.
Oh, it sounds great.
I think the pod race is the only neutral good, I like this without any qualification sequence in the entire movie.
I like it except for the design of the
What about
the
Darth Maul saber duel?
Yeah, so
do you have qualifications for that?
Again, here's what I'll say. I like the third act of this movie a lot, but a lot of stupid stuff happens. There's a lot of contrived tension.
Yeah.
When the red bars just pop out of the walls. What are we doing here?
Yeah, it bounces back and forth between the Duel of the Fates, which is amazing, with Anakin and R2 just casually yippying it up at the control station in orbit, and then Jar Jar as the bumbling general at this point.
Anakin, I can't hold on. Anakin blowing up he's just like rolls into this thing. Oh, stuff's breaking. Get her bar.
Yeah.
And then he just like, oh, the health bar too. And then he's like, it's working. And then he just shoots it. Oh, whoops, that's not good. Oh,
and in classic Star Wars fashion, it blows up from the inside, right?
Yes.
It only takes one direct hit, and
Like,
the whole thing blows.
Now that's pod racing.
That's the thing about this thing. Actual children's films are far more sophisticated than this. Like films that are
Yeah,
designed for
like-
children.
He's very Jingle All the Way, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
What
he
kills
is
me
Jingle All the Way,
about-
but he's very that character still.
What kills me about the third act of this movie, and here's my here's why it's not good, is 2/3 of the major sequences happen on accident.
Yes. Yeah.
It
100%.
is really disappointing that Anakin blows up the ship on accident, which somehow shuts down the entire droid army, which allows the guns to not be victorious, but
Yeah,
survive.
They were losing at that point.
Yeah, they were probably about to be like genocided, honestly. The droid army was going to eliminate their military force.
Yes.
And then even the Darth Maul battle, it just feels like a series of coincidences that lead to all of the momentum.
Yeah, the watching it was interesting because, of course, I loved Empire Strikes Back, which has a lot of exploring Cloud City without any context at the end, and they do that in the duel with Darth Maul too. But it struck me that the really interesting part with the force fields, where it used video game logic for the first time, and you're only really supposed to understand what's going on because you play video games already, and you're like, oh, it's on-off kind of level, and it's almost like I'm watching a Let's Play for a moment. They save it with Qui-Gon having his little moment of meditation at the end, but I remember just like being like, I think I'm watching my buddy play a PlayStation game right now.
And like that
Just, like,
that
pacing
sequence
over
where Qui-Gon like kneels down, and I'm glad that we skipped the middle part of the movie because the middle part's so fucking boring.
Yeah, we skipped over Tatooine. We talked about the pod racing, which is important.
And I want to double back to that, but we got to talk. Qui-Gon Jinn kneeling down and doing Jedi meditation would have been cooler if it had meant anything. Like if we had like heard a voice,
He didn't.
or like he had seen like a vision of something.
What voice was he going to hear? Some dead character
Yoda?
That we never met
Probably.
before.
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
They cut that
Definitely.
out.
Like it would have been interesting to have him see like a premonition of the future or something. Like when Obi-Wan dies in Star Wars Episode 4, and
It
I
would
often
be dead future Obi-Wan is what he would be hearing.
well, I always feel like this
That'd be
Qui-Gon
amazing.
death.
He just
Yeah,
comes
let's
back.
Qui-Gon death is sort of supposed to be like a parallel to that because the
Sure.
Qui-Gon death is what puts Obi-Wan in position to become a Jedi Knight and all this stupid stuff, in the same way that Obi-Wan dying in Episode 4 puts Luke on the path to becoming a proper Jedi. But I don't know, man. It kind of just Qui-Gon goes out like a tool.
Yeah.
And
Qui-Gon, like, he even looks surprised. He's like, "There's no fucking way.
I'm
How can I let
dying.
this happen?"
I meditated and everything.
yeah, come on, bro.
It's like, how did he get two?
I
Like,
spent the whole movie talking about how I can't free slaves and manipulating people who are dumber than me.
Hey, I'm a person, Chris.
yeah.
Like, I mean, let's be honest. The only two people who can act in the movie are Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, and you killed one of them.
Yeah.
Well,
You're
Natalie-
setting
yeah.
up the next movie without like.
Hey, Natalie Portman can do the Queen and Padme,
But-
two different
And
characters.
Padme.
Yeah.
And we got to talk about that too because
Yes. We've left
okay,
that out.
so we got the Tatooine sequence. Let's level back to the second act.
Yes.
3/4 of
um,
the budget went to her outfits, so
Padme, as long as you
Qui-Gon-
put the makeup on, you're Padme. It doesn't care who you are. Easy.
Yeah. Qui-Gon says, "Go to Tatooine. The Hutts are hanging out there. They won't look for her." And he's like, "We're gonna go into town, and I'm bringing Jar Jar Binks."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Like, there's no way he can stay behind. He's got to come.
He probably knows Obi-Wan would kill him and just be like, it was an accident.
he was
Well,
close.
That
but,
would have
like-
been great. That would have saved us so much.
I'm
would've
sorry,
made the
Master,
whole
but
movie-
he
It's just
fell
weird
on
that
my
Obi-Wan
lightsaber.
doesn't go with him into town. Why doesn't
Yeah,
Obi-Wan
like
go with him
Obi-Wan-
into town?
So checked out with all this stuff.
Like they don't
Keep
even
track of
like
the
give us
shit.
like a line of like Obi-Wan stay behind and make sure everyone else is safe. They just kind of
Well,
leave him
He's
behind.
technically guarding the Queen.
Everything's
technically.
cool, guys.
Yeah. And then when
But,
he
like,
hears he's
okay,
bringing a kid
cool.
back, he's like, yeah, sure. What?
Okay,
Like-
but let me
Of
just
course
say
you
something.
are.
Passenger.
they're Jedis and they don't fucking know she's the queen. Bullshit. Like, come on.
I assume he
Also,
knew all along. It was just playing.
But they act so surprised.
Anakin was hella
They're like,
surprised.
oh,
Also,
queen,
let's
what?
be
Oh.
serious here.
Yep.
It would have been so much cooler to have Natalie Portman just be like the queen the entire movie. Like, it would have been a baller move to be like, I'm the queen, I'm coming with you because you are holding our lives in our hands, and I'm an actual leader who takes responsibility for my
in
people.
street clothes. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's,
Yeah, it seems
it's
like a
such
really pointless bait and switch. It doesn't really accomplish much.
Yeah.
It accomplishes
if they
nothing.
like looked at each other when she like steps in front and just were like, yep.
Yeah, it's
Like,
only to
just to like a subtle like, yeah, we're not stupid, we're Jedis, we knew this the whole time, but
Yeah.
like
it's only to
But
create
they
the
don't
connection
get
with
that
Anakin
catharsis.
because you know they're never
Yeah.
really gonna kind of meet up.
So
like
Max,
that.
I think Anakin was so surprised because he was like, "Oh crap! Like I have a thing for the queen."
This is my
Yeah.
like
friend's
before,
crush.
he
Yeah.
didn't know,
Yeah.
right? He's
So-
like, "Oh,
so
and
they-
she kind of likes me too."
They go
It's
into
gotta be a
town.
big deal.
They go into town, and Qui-Gon is immediately... Well, first of all, Qui-Gon's mad that Natalie Portman decides to tag along. He's like,
Yeah.
the queen's fucking dumb. I'm
Another
Qui-Gon
person.
Jinn. I manipulated the guns later. I'm good.
And of course, you can't manipulate Watto.
Yeah, he shows up, and the first thing he says is...
Only money.
The first thing he says is, let's go to one of the smaller dealers. They'll be easier to take advantage of.
Good job,
Oh
Jedi.
my god.
It's like Qui-Gon Jinn is such an asshole this entire movie. It's incredible.
He's only
that I
got
didn't
credit,
realize it.
so he doesn't have anything to barter with.
Yeah, he walks in.
He's just
and we-
grifting this whole sequence. Yeah.
He's a pawn shop guy walking into a pawn shop.
He's grifts
Trying to
the entire
swindle parts.
Tatooine sequence. So he meets Watto. Watto delivers his classic line, "Hey, my tricks don't work on me. Only money." And
he knows it's a Jedi. Like
Yeah.
that didn't ring any bells, or he didn't sell him out right there. You know, no.
What are you,
And-
a
and
Jedi?
so for some reason, he's like, Anakin, you can go home early. So Anakin follows them out, and he's like, "There's a storm coming. You're gonna have to come hang out at my house for dinner."
Of course.
Doesn't even ask his mom first. He's just like, "Hey, I know that you're a slave and incredibly poor, but I brought guests."
Yeah.
Like, my mother could never have handled that in a million years.
Oh yeah, they're asking about the Immaculate Conception, which is we're just about getting to that
Oh,
point.
yeah. At this point, they're sitting at dinner, and like he's like, "Who was Anakin's father?" And his mom's like,
Nobody.
"I carried
We
him.
don't talk about
I
that.
raised him."
Yeah,
There was no
that's
father.
really what happened.
Yeah.
He didn't pay for
It's-
anything. He doesn't get the credit.
If you're still on board with what's been happening so far, and you get to this point, and you don't realize that this movie is about nothing,
I mean, it's the prophecy,
that,
man.
that there's no
Prophecy.
that there's
He
no
takes his
consistency.
blood in the strangest scene I've ever seen. Why
Oh,
are they
yeah.
in like the moonlight and he's like drawing his freaking blood and then he just like shoots it over like somehow digitally to Obi-Wan?
Yeah.
Hey bro,
Check
can you
out
just,
this
like,
blood.
check out this blood real quick? Like
And then he's like, "Oh, it's off the charts. It's over 9,000." He's like, "Holy fucking shit, we got a banger here."
We got a Gary Stew in the making. Let's do this.
And he then he's like, the only way they like gambling and they like nothing else essentially on Tatooine. So Anakin's like, "I'm a pod racer.
And they're
I
like,
built
sure
the
you are.
fastest pod of all time." And then he's like, "Well, I blew up the last pod racer I had."
I didn't even
And I've never
finish
finished the
before-
race.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, of course, a
And-
chance to have a bunch of goofy kids show up. All Anakin's
Oh my God.
peers roll in.
And
And
this
blow
is-
up.
This is where we get the coolest character. There
Oh,
is a teenage
Yes.
Greedo like
Legendary.
Rodian.
Yeah.
And he's like, he should have been in the movie. He should have been the one that they took to Coruscant, honestly.
Yeah, he should have some
There's no way he's
midichlorians.
teenage.
He
He's
should
like,
have been in the
Sorry,
pod race.
sorry,
Yes.
they're all like
With
9 to 10
7 and a
years
half
old.
year old Greedo.
yeah.
Yes.
Baby Greedo. And then, of
But-
course,
but-
Jar Jar encounters Sebulba, and there's all sorts of shenanigans with
His
Jar
Okay,
face
Jar.
goes
Jar pisses off Sebulba.
His tongue goes
And
numb.
then-
Yep.
And then Qui-Gon's like, what if we bet everything on this unproven kid that I just met? And he walks up
blood
to
looks
Watto.
good.
and
I'm
Watto's
cool with
like,
that.
His
Watto's
blood's
like,
good enough.
I heard you want to sponsor the boy for the race. And he's like, yeah. But what if you paid for it and you got all the profits if we win? And if we lose, we just get to die here.
Yeah, this will be fine. And of course, lots of great kind of little jokes thrown in there with the Tusken Raiders for no reason. They're just taking pot shots at pod racers.
Oh, I love that. It was so stupid. I love that.
We haven't gotten to the pod race yet.
Yay!
They're like, yeah, we broke one.
Then, yeah, the lead up.
Scared of everything. That's all we know is they're scared easily. It was like, oh no, they're gonna take pot shots at a pod race, though. You know,
for sure.
So Qui-Gon shows up and he's like, hey, I know what you've been missing, a battery for your pod racer. And he gives him a battery, and he turns out, and there's a little bit of emotional catharsis. It's working! It's working! And it's like,
exactly his voice.
We never saw it not work.
No, yeah, because he's in Gary Stu mode at that moment. Yeah.
Like, have you just been missing a power source this whole time?
Yes.
How'd you figure out it's the fastest pod racer ever if you've never been able to turn it on before?
Yeah, right.
He's a Jedi. He intuited it.
Well, you know, it's like every kid saying my dad works for Nintendo. You know,
Yeah.
I got the fastest pod racer. It just so happens that fate has determined this is fucking true.
So the other pod racers he's going to be going up against. We got some characters that are.
Yes.
Who's the one that just like stops at the start line?
Oh, Ben Quadranero?
Yeah, he's great looking. Not really.
One of the greatest characters because his last name is just how they determine how many pod racer engines his ship has.
Yeah. They just all fly off into. Of course, Jabba the Hutt rolls in, which is great.
Yeah. He fell asleep during Anakin's whole pod race, so I mean, if that's not foreshadowing.
Greg Proops is in there. Comedian Greg Proops is one of the commentators. Yeah.
We also have to remember there's that scene right before the race where Qui-Gon once again shows that he's not above constantly, blatantly going against the Jedi Code to use the Force to manipulate things to his whim.
His ethics are...
Oh, yeah.
And
dice
he manipulates the dice to be like, I get Anakin if we win. And he's like, I guess you get Anakin.
Yeah.
And then we get to the pod race, and I love this entire sequence from start to finish. This is maybe my favorite scene in all of the 3 prequels.
Wow.
I find the sense of speed and danger to be electric in this sequence. It's like George remembered that he was part of the team that directed the original Star Wars finale.
And
where there's like
and American Graffiti.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, because it's all about that racing thrill.
Yes, and like there's like it's you know like an homage to Ben-Hur and the danger of the chariot race very clearly, but like it is really gripping. Like I saw it in theaters twice recently, and on a big screen, that race is just everything in your field of view. Yeah, and it feels dangerous.
My only gripe was just the pod racers. Because it was essentially the Beggar's Canyon race that you always heard about in Star Wars, so you never got to see, where Luke Skywalker raced a T-16. Except a T-16 looks freaking cool. This would have been awesome with T-16s racing around instead of these goofy jalopies.
This is where we diverge, because I played Star Wars Episode 1 Pod Racer on Windows PC as a 5-year-old kid, and I have always thought the pod racers looked fucking incredible.
Also,
I love
speeders,
the weird designs.
Snow speeders looked cool. X-wings looked cool. Y-wings looked cool, and speeder bikes looked cool. Pods
and I think the pod racers also look incredibly cool.
They look.
I'm with you, Chris. The pod racers look fucking awesome.
And this is the thing. I think the young people that didn't have all of that time to grow up with the original designs have spent their whole lives with these designs, and like I was able to interact with them in Episode 1 Racer. Every single one of those pods shown on screen is a playable character, so I have a very different relationship to that sequence.
For sure. I mean, it sounds great.
I can empathize.
It sounds great.
Yeah, it's a very
the noise that Sebulba's racer makes is like one of my
incredible.
favorite noise. It's one of my favorite noises in Star Wars. If I could have that playing in my brain 24/7, that would be awesome.
You mean it's not doing that already?
Well, yeah, but if let me go back. If my car could make that noise, that would be cool. That would be a life improvement.
I think that's possible.
If I could, when my car turns on and it makes that sound that Anakin's makes when he accelerates, it's like I might stop driving Priuses if there was a car out there that made that noise.
And the bit when his pod starts failing and he kind of redirects the energy, that was actually pretty cool. Like, that was a good sequence. I liked it.
Hey, Sam, have you ever seen the DVD version or the Blu-ray version of the movie?
Only abstractly, like people watching. I don't think I've ever properly sat down and watched the pod racing scene in totality.
So you know how this whole movie's thesis is, this is what George Lucas can do with all of his technology.
Yeah, as Marcus was alluding to earlier.
He special editionizes episode 1 for the DVD release.
Yeah.
And he extends the pod race, and it is like 10 minutes longer. And it really drags. Like, Anakin's pod racer falls apart like 3 times. They introduce every pod racer by name and show you their faces.
Nice.
That's for the game.
Yeah.
That's a game again.
Yeah, that's it came out after the game, but it makes that whole sequence so boring.
I'm glad I've never seen that version.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've never
right?
seen
I
it.
remember seeing the DVD and just going, like, I was excited because they added more. I'm like, oh, maybe the movie's a little better, and somehow
it
they made it shittier.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it takes the brisk, like, in the theatrical cut, they show the racers, they show their flags, and then bam, Jabba the Hutt spits that whatever it is at the thing, and then they just go.
Yeah.
And it sounds great in Dolby Digital.
Yeah.
I think.
Again,
I think.
like Lucas, he really only likes to make movies if it's an excuse for him to bring about some kind of new technology or some sort of new empire of his, and just
Or sell a shit ton of toys.
Oh, well, that too on the side. But yeah, so this was him starting to mess with digital technology, which he brought to a more intense level with Attack of the Clones. But for this one, his big kind of entrance into new territory was Dolby Digital Surround EX 6.1, which is just a matrix center channel for your stereo surrounds.
It's nothing.
Yeah.
It's a nothing format. It didn't last long. There's maybe 15 movies that utilized it.
I think it made sense for cinemas, I suppose, to direct the sound a little bit more, but in a well-structured home cinema with 2 rear speakers behind you, if they're placed well, you're going to hear center imaging anyways because of the stereo signal. But yeah, I mean, it's a big deal. It's Marcus, you got all the Dolby Digital EX LaserDiscs, right?
I do. There are 8 films that are EX coded.
Do you have a center channel for your surrounds?
No, I don't. Not yet. Not yet. I mean, I just have 5.2.
There's
just
5
5
one right
Which
there.
is realistically all you need. But I find the pod race to be an engrossing experience. I think that final shot where Sebulba's pods just disassemble because he gets stuck on Anakin's pod it feels dangerous. Like the explosions surrounding me, it feels dangerous. And there's nothing else like that in the entire movie.
No.
Yes.
Do I think that this needed to be how they got their money? No. I think this is too long for the needs of the movie, even though I like it in isolation.
Again, it's just funny how Qui-Gon is just bemusedly kind of going along with whatever shenanigans happen. And it's like, yeah, sure, cool.
And then they win. It's very exciting. The music's great. The victory track is amazing.
John Williams back in fine form.
And then he's like, I freed you, Anakin. And then Anakin's like, what about my mom?
He's like, yeah.
And
we tried.
And then what they should have
really
done is
hard.
they should have phased in Qui-Gon's face in transparency of him just going, I didn't come here to free slaves. and then he's like, so I'm going to take your kid to become a Jedi. And Mom's like, shit, why not?
Yeah, she's cool with it.
I
Well, she
mean,
got
he's going to be a
paid.
slave otherwise, so might as well give him a shot at.
Right.
Yeah.
He rolls in with a bankroll and then says, cool, I'm taking your kid. And she's like, see ya.
Yeah. See a strange man that I just met yesterday, or
Yeah, she just got handed a fat stack of cash. And then we hear that he's leaving.
He's like, we sold the pod racer. It's like, oh, you sold the only thing that was interesting about you? Is that
of
you could
course
drive this thing?
this gives us an excuse to finally go to Coruscant, which I've heard about as a fan many years before. Unfortunately, Luc Besson rolled around and stole the thunder of the promise of Coruscant with the Fifth Element. But that's okay. We still get our city planet. And
here's the worst part about the Coruscant sequence. Nothing happens.
I mean, there's a lot
nobody-
of political intrigue and
Great.
Nobody gains
That's really
anything.
riveting.
Palpatine gets to, eventually we get to see ETs.
But he doesn't gain anything until the end of the movie. Nothing happens while we're there. The Queen gets shut down. The
Is
Jedi
that
are
everyone
like
sitting in those weird
They get a
pods
vote of
having
no
conversations
confidence.
floating around each other? Because
Yeah.
like that was one of the strangest things. Like who would
Yeah.
want that as the conversation? That's so weird.
I was actually surprised at how well you could see the ETs on the LD blown up on the big screen. Oh, they're right there. Like, I just thought
Yeah,
that'd be like
they're-
really
It
blurry.
was very clear.
Well,
Yeah.
the LaserDisc is of impeccable quality.
Yeah,
One
we're
of the
gonna
greatest
dig
LaserDiscs
into
ever
that.
presented. But I really like that they take Anakin to the Jedi Council, and this is another thing that I like about this movie is that it just paints the Jedi as these stubborn, unsupportive, inflexible assholes because they're like, he's too old.
Yeah.
Yep, we have an age limit.
Yeah,
he's
you're
too
either-
old.
Yeah, you're either too young or too old. Like, you can never meet their requirements. You're damn.
So-
right.
And,
So it's interesting, Heller, because all the points that you're making about the Jedi are some of the same points that Anakin makes when he turns to the dark side.
Yeah.
Right. So he talks about, the Jedi's being manipulative and, all those sorts of things that you're describing. I never really thought about it in that way, but that maybe that's some of the illusion, right, on the path to the dark side that we get. I just never really noticed it until you said it, explained it like this.
And the problem is that none of the rest of the movies really follow that, except for there's like one line at the end of Attack of the Clones where it's like Yoda's like, maybe the Jedi have lost their way,
Yeah.
and then they just straight up lose their way and become ineffective by the time of Revenge of the Sith rolls around.
On the
like-
plus side, we get Samuel L. Jackson as Mace Windu. So we got a new Jedi
Yeah.
character.
I laughed
is-
so
which-
hard when he showed up on screen. I was like,
Listen,
really?
that entire Jedi Council, half those characters never show up again.
No.
And the other half that do all get gunned down mercilessly.
Yeah, in Attack of
episode
the
3.
Clones. Yeah, there's a few that one of them does
Like,
one of
who's
them
the guy
die
with
in
the
a
hugely
part two?
long neck?
Yeah.
Like, who's that guy?
Yeah, the guy whose head is like floating,
like
Yeah.
right
a
behind
snake.
him the whole time while he's talking. I'm like,
Yeah.
who is that? I want to know who that guy is.
And
Like,
Yoda, classically in this cut, looks stoned because later he
Yeah.
was replaced with CGI. And
And so,
sadly, Seth is not here because he's our puppet expert.
and then another thing, Marcus, is like it's there in episode 1, but it's only like the surface. And if George wanted to do something with that, he could have just been more explicit with it in episodes 2 and 3. But that's the problem with the prequel trilogies is that it's all plot, no exposition.
All right, so rewatching. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Hayden.
Oh, I just want to say, when I got into Star Wars after I got into LD, I kind of started getting a little interested in like fan discourse around the movies because like I hadn't really followed it. Star Wars seemed like nerd homework. I wasn't interested in it for the longest time. But then, people talk about that. They bring up what Holler said about, the Jedi Council being, kind of just not upholding the ideals that they're supposed to be, basically.
Yeah.
And I feel, and rewatching it this time, I could kind of see that, but it's not written particularly strong. It's just kind of there where if you're looking for it, you can see it. But then also everyone in the movie is monotone. So
Yes.
it's not even like, they don't seem particularly bored or like frustrated that they're having to do this. They're acting like everyone else the whole time. There's no contrast with how they act. There's some, if the performances were a little, more dynamic, then you may be able to get a sense of that. But as it stands, it's like, yeah, they're the Jedi. Yeah, they blend in with this world. They act like everyone else. Yeah, I guess. Sure, why not?
Listen, this movie has more wood than the entire forest moon of Endor has in its performances.
Indeed.
Somehow, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, having to rewatch it for this podcast, did everyone kind of assess the film? Did you come to any new conclusions? Did you enjoy it more than earlier? Did you enjoy it less? Ryan.
I enjoyed it the same amount as the last time I watched it, and I watched the Phantom edit cut, which cuts out like most of Jar Jar.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I was
It's
gonna ask about
just
that.
so stilted and underdeveloped and cold and like pointless, and it just there's a story arc here, and they do everything they can to shit on it
Yeah.
all the way through. And like
literally with that creature
potential-
farting.
Yeah, literally. Like it was like George Lucas was like, guys, I'm still 12. and no one's gonna say no to me when I think it's funny that a character's farting. Yep.
Hayden,
I mean, if we're watching like a comedy or something, great. But we're supposed to be watching like a space opera.
yeah, exactly. And it's like, any Will Ferrell movie has a lot more gravitas than this film does.
Yeah.
But anyways, not to hate on it. Hayden, did you enjoy the film more, or you just have childhood feels for you?
I mean, I do have some nostalgia for the movie. When I watched it as a kid, me and my dad were just huge fans of Darth Maul himself.
Yeah, sure.
Absent of really the movie itself. We thought he was the coolest design.
Yeah, you need no context. He's just there. He's cool. Yep.
Yeah, he's just a red guy. He's the literal devil in Sith form, and he has a double-edged lightsaber.
Yeah.
And so my dad and I both got lightsabers. We would fight in the yard with them. It was awesome. It was a great time. But yeah, no, going back and watching it, it's like there's that little bit of nostalgia, but it's not really enough to make me want to rewatch the movie on a regular basis, because so much of it, aside from the big set pieces, it's so tedious and slow.
I'd forgotten how slow Tatooine is. I'm like, oh, come on, man.
And it's like, you can see what part of what I think is frustrating about it is that you can see what George Lucas was going for. It's so easy to see what the vision was trying to be. Because since seeing this as a kid, I've seen 10 Commandments and Ben-Hur and all that, and it's like he wants to do this thing where characters walk in and they boomingly say their lines without any real emotion, and it's all it's all meant to be big and grand, but everyone's just using their inside voices. Everyone's real quiet. No one can yell. No one's allowed to emote and give these big over the top emotions. It's the opposite of what it's trying to be. Because George Lucas is 12 and no one would had the guts to tell him hey, George, maybe we could turn up the heat a little bit. Maybe let them act some.
Amidala's range is I will not sign your agreement to hey, Annie, neat robot.
Yeah. Sign your agreement.
Marcus,
so low.
What about you? Do you like it more now?
No, not for the movie.
Yeah, we'll get into the LD after
LD
this.
Specifically, yes, and we're going to talk about the technical aspects of the LD. But I only watch certain scenes.
Sure.
Right. So I do the lightsaber duel and the pod racing. Those are the main focus areas for me that I watch. I do not watch the movie in its entirety unless my youngest kids, who are 5 and 7, they love pod racing, so they'll sit down and watch the whole thing. Outside of that, I typically don't. I don't watch it.
Or for a podcast assignment.
Yeah, for a podcast assignment, I would, and that's what it felt like. It's on those really slow parts, I'm like, okay, I mean, I have to do this, right, for the podcast, but I wouldn't normally just sit here and watch this whole thing. Yeah. So
Maxine, do you still love it?
So my memory of this was not strong to begin with. I remember people that were dressing up as Darth Maul for Halloween. I remember Jar Jar merch everywhere. I remember all of the things surrounding the film. The things I remembered from the film were specifically that Natalie Portman was just the queen, but she had a body double, and it was like a, like that. I remembered that. I remembered Jar Jar, but I remembered nothing about him. I know the lore is that he was annoying, but my memory wasn't that at all. It was just he existed.
Sure.
And then I remember the face of the pod racing. I had zero memory of the pod racing at all. So this did not sit in my memory as this. And again, I watched the VHS trilogy as a kid, but I just would watch just one film a lot, and that was Empire. So and I haven't seen the regular trilogy. I haven't seen any of the other stuff. So this is me coming as fresh-eyed as physically possible watching the LD of this. And I mean, this, certain scenes, it was molasses.
Yeah.
And other things, it was just I mean, I felt I agree, you're just dropped into this thing. And I think that's kind of a Star Wars thing. They want to drop you in, you're already in the middle of the story that's already going on. And there's a bunch of stuff that you don't know, and they want to make it hectic, and you're just immersed immediately.
Empire likes to do that too. You don't really know how they got to that planet. And
exactly. Yeah. And so for me, not a problem. I fully fine with that. And then I'm just watching this, and then I'm immediately annoyed by Jar Jar. I'm weirded out by the choice of accents for the people. Yep. And I'm questionable. And then it was like just a lot of that feeling of just like, man, I kept thinking the entire time, like, is there an edit where Jar Jar doesn't exist? Because I kind of want to see that.
Ryan's got your answer.
It's better. Yeah.
Removing him does not injure the movie at all.
No.
Sure.
And there's just I felt like, so, okay, it's the era of time that this was. If I'm thinking about other films, like what was coming before that, why were they casting those people? Because I felt like Liam Neeson, again, I forgot he was in this. I mean, obviously he's on the cover, but like,
yeah,
I don't know, like I just forgot him. So I'm seeing him like weird choice, like, you know, from this perspective now. But even then, I'm like, what was he doing where they're like, yes, we're gonna cast him? You
Michael
know,
Collins,
right
obviously.
Yeah, like I'm thinking Rob Roy maybe, like, but that's just like,
he's almost Jedi-esque in Rob Roy.
I guess I was trying to figure out why they cast him. Same with like freaking Obi-Wan. Like, really? Like, was this the right choice? Like, I mean, I kind of feel like maybe it's because he kind of looks like a younger version of the OG character.
Yeah, and he was hot at the time. Yeah, you know, post Train Spotting and yeah.
Yeah, but still strange. I guess maybe like a weird accent language concept makes sense with Star Wars. But like truly, the Anakin casting choice, like they just watched Jingle All the Way, like, I need that kid.
What's
I
his
need
name?
him.
Jake Lloyd in.
He's perfect.
Yep.
Like, that's my dad. That's the whole thing I kept thinking the entire film is like, and he just never changes that voice. He's just, that's my dad from Jingle All the Way throughout the entire film.
Like,
so,
you think he'd be upset when he's like, I'm a slave. And he's like, I'm a slave.
That's my dad. I'm a person. Like, it's just...
I would actually talking about Marcus's talking about the promise of the dark side. It would have been great if he had done that during the 3PO scene where he's leaving 3PO behind. If he just like destroys him or like borrows Qui-Gon's lightsaber and just like guts him and just like, peace out, 3PO.
None of the characters are allowed to have strong emotions.
No.
So Chris, are you still torn? Did you discover new things from these last kind of viewings?
So, unlike you guys, I've watched this movie semi-regularly since I got the LaserDisc in 2011.
It's second nature, yeah.
This movie's not good.
Yeah.
But I still like it.
Fair enough.
I enjoy how dysfunctional it is, how hostile it is to the audience. And I think I enjoy it a lot now because they at least tried something interesting at each locale. None of them are good. None of them work correctly. But it's been so long since I've seen a blockbuster film that didn't feel like it was made in a lab to make me clap, that like seeing this movie in a theater next door to The Fall Guy and to Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes and to what else was it running against? If?
Two Ryan Reynolds movies, it
felt like I was watching something made by somebody who liked to do interesting things visually.
Sure.
Unfortunately,
making Claritin commercials with rabbits.
Unfortunately, Lucas fails as a director to convey any of his messages meaningfully, and it's such a disaster on a catastrophic level. But I like the 1996 Judge Dredd movie. For some reason, my brain doesn't completely flatline during
I actually like that more than Phantom Menace. I'll cop to that.
I find that it has this 1999 sincerity to it at all levels that a movie today couldn't even fathom giving you.
Yeah, it was tough too because this came out immediately after The Matrix, and The Matrix was kind of
The Matrix is a classic.
Yeah, at the time it was kind of revitalizing science fiction on the screen. It didn't capitalize on that with the sequels and drop the ball, but whatever. At the time in '99, I literally went to go see The Matrix again and had bought my tickets that night for Phantom Menace because I timed it so I could go 1-2. And I came out of the theater and there was a line. I'm like, I'm not getting in the line with these jabronis. I paid for this ticket earlier, these losers. And I kind of snuck in. And so it's like I was coming off the high of The Matrix. And so this, again, though, like you said, it's got 99 vibes.
And it's clear that George Lucas didn't understand what made his big three movies work so successfully.
Yeah. Oh, he had no idea.
In making this movie, because he didn't have Spielberg to collaborate with, which is why those Indiana Jones movies are so interesting.
He didn't have Gary Kurtz and Howard Kazanjian and Marsha Lucas and a lot of the people that were helping shape the story behind the scenes.
And so I find an interesting failure to be more interesting to me personally than a successful movie that makes me feel nothing.
Sure, I'll give you that.
At least if something is bad, it's worth
bad
talking
and ambitious.
About. If it makes you feel some sort of emotion, it's worth something. Like, I'll see the next Marvel movie, and I'm sure I will feel nothing afterwards. I've seen them all. I hardly talk about them because they don't make me feel anything when I see them. I saw this movie, and one of our friends got so mad at me when I said that I liked it that he blocked me on Facebook and exiled me from his group chat.
It's true.
Like, this movie inspires such interesting responses, and I think that's worth something to me as someone who watches too many movies.
I want to hear everybody's rating on this out of 10.
Oof, that's a tough one. Ryan, what do you got? You got a rating?
Man.
I'll give it a 3 because like
Ooh.
some of the special effects and sound were there. There's just like a turd rolling along that they're trying to make interesting. And honestly, it's because George Lucas's best movie he didn't direct. And had he have just, given a story arc and hired people and then focused on making the cool shit that like we knew he could, or inspiring the cool shit, it would have just fallen into place. But he, like, I don't know if he was just old and it was his baby and it was like the only thing he has left, which it kind of feels like it even now. But like he just like he was so close to it that he missed it and no one said no to him. He was with the yes man again.
I like the 3. I would go with that as well. That's accurate. Hayden, what do you got a rating?
I'd give it the astronomically high rating of a 4.
Oh, look at you!
Like I said, I have the nostalgia for it, but and I think there's some really good visuals, even outside of the set pieces. Some of the sets, there's a lot of great sets. Even some of the digital sets look really good. There's a lot of things where it's like, if you just saw screenshots from this movie and showed it to someone who had never seen it, you could trick them into thinking it's the best movie ever.
I like a lot of the Naboo stuff, the palace kind of stuff. I like,
And the underwater city,
and like y'all were talking about in the final battle with the red, like force fields coming through.
Yes,
I get y'all's critiques for that, but for me that is like one of the coolest like little moments in the movie. It looks so awesome. I remember as a kid watching it on VHS, and I remember at some point when I was just old enough to understand the concept of a VHS like messing up, and I thought like, is this part of the movie messed up because there's all these streaky lines in the visuals? And then I remember like messing with the tracking, like my parents showed me how to do that, and I was like, well, it's not changing it, so I guess that's how it's supposed to look. But now what? It's just awesome. But I just
so a strong 4 is Anthony Fantano would say.
A strong 4. Yeah, I don't love it. I get that people don't like it, but I don't get the vitriolic hate for it in 2024. That's where I sit.
Marcus, drop some numbers on us. What do you got?
Yeah, so I'm going with a 4. I would say a weak 4, not a strong 4. But
all right.
I would go with a 4. It's not my. I mean, I think episode 2 is way worse than this, in my opinion. I really don't like episode 2.
I like episode 2 more than this for sure. But
I definitely don't. I saw episode 2 in the theaters. I have not watched it all the way through since. Not one time.
But have you watched the last hour, which rips?
No.
All right.
No.
I go 2, 3, 1. But anyways, Chris.
So I'm going 4. I mean, again, there's things I love about Phantom Menace, pod racing, lightsaber duel. On LaserDisc, it is absolutely awesome. It sounds amazing. It looks amazing. It is reference quality for audio, in my opinion. It is, I had somebody over recently who had never seen a LaserDisc and loves Star Wars. I put this on. One, because I did not want to show him anything special edition.
Sure, yeah.
With AC3, and so this was the next best thing, and we watched a couple of key scenes. So, I'm good with a 4.
Chris, what do you got?
I'm gonna give it a 6.
Wow, all right.
It's a low 6. It's not a gentleman's 6. It's a 6 for me personally. I could defend it, but I think
all right.
So
Max, what's your rating?
This is really shocking, okay? Because here I was thinking I was being rude when I was rating this after seeing this last night. was like, oh man, I'm gonna give this like a 7.
All right.
And like now I'm
And you're
feeling
the
like,
highest.
wow, gosh, guys, like
Max has got a lot of love for Phantom Menace.
I thought
Nice.
Hayden was going to be higher because Hayden was kind
I
of
felt
gaslighting
like-
us, like in the chat, like, "Oh, this is great, I love it."
Yeah, it's the
I
only good
enjoyed-
movie ever made in the history
like-
of cinema.
Yeah. I enjoyed all the sets and stuff like that. And like
Yeah.
I liked the chrome of the ship. I like there's like that's this type of stuff that when I like to watch something, I'm always looking at the background or the interesting little things that like make it special.
Yeah.
Like it's not always the plot because I watch a lot of things that have was no plot anyways. So like
Fair, yeah.
it could have no plot if the vibe is interesting. I'm still here for it. Like
All right, so we're getting a 7, huh?
yeah.
All right, so let's close this out with, we got a dish on the LaserDisc because this is a seminal release. It's important to LaserDisc, even if the film's a 3 in some people's minds. This came out, was not released in the States, Japan only, theatrical cut that later got changed on DVD. Ryan's got cards because he's got an early pressing that's worth like buku bucks. So look at you, Ryan. Normally you can get this very cheap because it was imported crazy. Widescreen Review did not review Japanese LaserDisc, but they reviewed this one. So everybody in the States was buying this because you could get it on VCD at the time and LaserDisc.
Gross.
Yeah.
Don't mention VCD in my get that worthless slime-ridden filth out of my
Sam,
Hey,
out
VC
of my sight.
VCDs look pretty good if you watch them on like a Radio Shack Portavision.
Hell
They
yeah.
look perfectly fine at that
That's
size.
era appropriate.
VHS.
So when did everybody get these, like a while ago, or did I picked mine up within the past couple of years finally for the first time?
Yeah.
I
same.
have had Phantom Menace since 2011.
All right, yeah. So you've been
This is
riding
my
with that.
second copy. I sold my first one while I was buying the second one at a profit, because as one does. But to me, this is the LaserDisc that defines like the reference disc, and I've watched it at least once a year. Since,
Definitely sonically. Visually, it's weird. It's hit or miss visually. I think Armageddon looked better than this did, talking about films we reviewed recently.
Yeah.
There's some bits that look a little
Development.
digital and kind of washed out and like overly lit. Again, it's also IRE 0, which we should mention. So.
It is. I was gonna
Yeah.
say, did anybody notice that? It's
Yeah,
too
it's
dark.
got-
You gotta,
Oh, it's
you gotta
definitely
pump the brightness up.
IR0.
I adjusted the last time I watched it because yes, a lot of people are watching this and if it's got super saturated colors and the blacks are just crushed on your NTSC monitor. Speaking for people
Right.
that are watching on.
So I
My
watched
OLED
this.
crushed. It looked great.
Yeah. So I watched this on a Sony Wega CRT display
Yep.
2 days ago. And I think on a CRT, it smooths out a lot of the weird inconsistencies you're seeing in because you're projecting it, right? You've got it on the big screen.
Yeah, and it's got a lot of edge enhancement, things like that. So it's not bad, but it doesn't look as good as GoldenEye or just some because I popped on a copy of Goldfinger after this randomly, and that just looked much more filmic.
Did you
and-
watch the THX Goldfinger?
No, I watched I'll show you later because I picked it up. It's in my
Okay.
pickups, but
I was gonna say
yeah.
because I think that again, I have a different perspective from everyone else because I'm watching my laser discs on a CRT on S video, and
Ooh.
it smooths out a lot of the weird inconsistencies that show up when you play this through a digital format. So like I'm sitting over here like this is the greatest, but yours is also incredibly valid.
It doesn't have a lot of aliasing and things like that though, so it is a good transfer in those regards. Oh, Spencer's over here in the chat dumping on it too. CRT viewing helps, but can't hide all the crazy processing.
My eyes aren't that good,
yeah.
so I can't see the rest of the processing.
Again,
What
it's
can I
not
say?
bad, but I think the visuals aren't as referenced as the audio overall. But
Yeah.
but that
Other than ET's clear as fuck.
I was
Yes.
surprised because I was telling I actually got my wife to watch it. She hadn't seen it in a while. I'm like, I gotta watch Phantom Menace for the podcast, and she's like, oh, cool, I'll come watch it with you. So we sat down, fired it up, and I'm like, the scene's got ETs in it because I'm like Mr. Cool Nerd guy, and I'm looking for him, and I'm like looking in the background, and then they just cut to the scene, and then the bottom left of the frame, I'm like, oh, there's a bunch of ETs like clearly visible there, and she's like, oh yeah, I see them. So. Again, yeah, some of the outdoor shots are like a little kind of cooked, and again, a lot of it's just down to the digital environment, the cleared and clear fields of Naboo at the end. I don't know.
Now I'm gonna dish something pretty strange. So I saw the most recent Disney DCP of episode 1 that they've issued to theaters. And it looked horrible.
Because, yeah, it's edited digitally, right? In
Yeah,
1999 tech.
And it was finished before they did 2K digital intermediate, so a lot of the visual effects were printed to film at like 1024 or 1280 by 1024.
It's baked into the master, yeah.
It looks fucking bad. Like I saw it twice just to see if like maybe it was the theater we were running it in, but no, it looks terrible.
Yep.
You should keep this one on LaserDisc, where some of the magic of the memory of seeing it in theaters, 25 years ago is retained.
Yeah. And sonically, I mean, it just rips. I mean, again, the ship kind of that Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon are on, just I love the sound of that. Chris, you mentioned that first explosion in the hangar.
Listen, it's something that my brain just knows that scene like perfectly across all formats. I know what it's supposed to sound like.
Yeah.
Yeah. The comment from my neighbor who saw this when I demoed it for him, he said, I've never heard lightsabers like that before. Like every time a lightsaber wands by, like you can feel it sonically. Exactly. In your core. Thanks, Aiden.
Yeah, and it's got perfect, it's got that everything that was released like after the start of the Dolby Digitals and the DTSs in the 90s has such like bright, punchy sound.
Yeah.
And somehow this is brighter and punchier and has more contrast and dynamics than any of those mixes.
And again, like Dolby Digital and kind of discrete surrounds, it sounds great with all the bombastic stuff. But again, sometimes the moments I love are the kind of moments of quieter sound engineering. There's one bit before Jar Jar dives into the pool to take everyone to the Gungan city. And there's just like a bird creature thing that travels from the rear soundstage from like the right to the left, like just perfectly. So good.
Those things.
Yeah, I remember actually looking over because my theater is in a garage. I was like actually looking over to say, is it a bird that just landed on the roof?
Right?
Like it was very realistic.
That's like my favorite sound design in the entire thing. I mean, I love the pod racing sound as well, but
I too loved the bird. I immediately was excited by that. My system is actually like really cooking right now.
Yeah, you just set up Dolby Digital with it, right?
Yes, for the longest, I feel like I've never heard AC3 because my receiver was just not correct, and I had no idea. So here I am actually doing everything right. It's functional. The thing's got the lock symbol on, and it's cranked, and it just sounds huge. And I'm hearing all the sounds everywhere it's supposed to be. I don't have a subwoofer, so I'm running 5.0 here.
Oh, whoa!
But, yeah,
what you gonna sound? Your mind blown.
I'm just like, damn, this is so sick.
You know that this mix is good when you can turn it up louder than you normally turn a movie at, and you don't start feeling fatigue.
Yeah, the bass is punchy and it's defined. It's not just boomy and kind of bloated like a lot of big action movies are.
And I mean, I watched this. So I'm an assistant manager at a local theater, and I have access to the sound fader. And I watched this at reference level fader 7 in our theater, and it sounded good. But you can tell Disney's tampered with the mix because the LaserDisc mix is so much brighter and punchier at the same scenes. It just smokes.
Hayden, did you watch it in Dolby Digital or did just like stereo?
No, I still don't have an AC3 setup, and I don't have a center channel, so I watched the Dolby surround mix in 4.1.
Hey,
and that's the only mix I've ever heard since I grew up watching it on VHS.
Sure,
it still sounds awesome. Now that I have a sound system and I'm not watching it on a 13-inch CRT with a mono speaker in my bedroom, it sounds pretty dang good.
Nice. Yeah, Ryan, what were you rocking?
This time around, I did just a little bit of LaserDisc because
You cheated?
I can't watch all this. Oh, I totally cheated. I watched the Phantom edit, which is basically they took the DVD and cut it down to 18 minutes less than the LaserDisc.
Is there surround sound on it, or were you just watching it on a phone?
I was just watching it on Plex, so like super low effort.
Yeah.
But the LaserDisc, when I've seen it with the full AC3. I don't have 6.1, but the 5.1, it just cooks. It really does, and it's something to behold. But Yeah, I mean, just watching it because I was watching it to see how much better it would be edited down, and it's not better. It's just not worse. Like,
it's just lifted
less
lazily to the
worse.
left.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say it's less worse because the entire sequence with the underwater and the fish gone.
Oh, nice.
Just
Yeah.
Good.
gone.
It does
And
nothing
like
for the
so
movie.
much Jar Jar missing. But even when he wasn't there, you're like, damn it. But it's because like, you know, John Williams is like blasting in the background. You're like, well, you can't cut John Williams.
Yeah, I guess he's
But
out.
like if there was something else they could have inserted instead, it would have been even better.
Yeah.
The soundtrack without him speaking, like inserted into those scenes and removed Jar Jar.
Who's got the 6.1 EX insert that they can show?
I do.
Yeah, nice.
Ooh.
Got it. Okay.
I've got it right here.
It's a nice jacket
Yeah.
too. I mean, it's a gatefold jacket.
It's
There we go.
It's a beautiful diagram that says, "Hey, there's gonna be another surround channel in the back."
Figure it
And
out.
This one,
Yep.
they actually have 2 sub backs, so it's a double mono
That's
sub channel.
yeah. I listened with 2 backs as well.
Yeah, and I was reading about why 6.1 didn't persist for very long, and that's because the THX guys basically discovered in their experiments that 7.1 accomplished all of the same exact things as 6.1, but with more dimensionality because of the surround back and surround channels.
And
so
this does not contain flags. Like later DVDs that had EX encoding contain flags that receivers can pick up on and automatically signal. Yeah, set up the signal and the decoding for the proper channel. So yeah, you have to do this manually. And I've got like a thing on my receiver. I can kind of poke the button a couple times and get it.
So
To
Yeah,
I'm gonna
Sorry,
I'm
go
gonna
on.
say this. I think the Phantom Menace is the best sounding LaserDisc AC3 track of them all.
Yeah, it's tough. I'm trying to think of competitors, but it's
If not the best, top 5.
yeah, it's in the top 5. for
Definitely
sure.
top 5.
And
I was
again,
gonna add
yeah.
the EX on the Obi.
Mm.
They don't all have EX.
Yes, right. It's kind of
this
stealth.
one does. The Haunting does.
Does Fight Club?
The Sixth Day does not. Fight Club does not. The only 2 that have it are Phantom Menace and The Haunting.
Yeah. So it's
So Fight
interesting.
Club, Sixth Day, they don't have EX on the Obi. For those who are tracking.
Speaking of that, Obi, nice packaging. Love the gold. Kind of the Star Wars goes right into the logo on the jacket there.
I believe I brought this to our Best Covers episode 2 video.
And
I got roundly shouted down.
Sean
But I
was
still
mad
stand
because
by
the
it.
floating heads and everything.
But you know what? You know what? They're my boys.
Again, who's got the gatefold? But that's got a nice like Naboo interior, but of course mine's sealed right now.
It's very low resolution, that
Yeah,
picture. It's very fuzzy.
It's going to look great here when Maxine shows it, but when you get right up on it, yeah, it's a little low res. But it's a pretty sweet gatefold, full color, unlike a lot of Japanese releases.
Just a heckin' good disc.
Indeed, and
wish
readily
the
available.
movie was better.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a seminal release. And it like I said, I did bag on the picture a little bit, but it did project well. And I said there was no aliasing like in some regard. It was more about the video master itself. It could have been on DVD and would have had a little bit excess, kind of edge enhancement and things like that too. So
Well, the problem is
Straight
that
on my
the
own
later home video releases of Phantom Menace, they cooked it to death.
yeah, for sure.
Because they wanted it to look closer to episode 2's very like soft digital look.
Yep.
And it fucking sucks.
Again, yeah, if you're a theatrical purist, grab this. It's got Yoda looking stoned. It's got the shorter pod racing scene.
Yeah.
And if you want to go really crazy, I know of a 35 millimeter print scan.
Oh, look at that!
You
Talk
could
to the man.
smoke if you wanted to.
There's even like there's like a bit with like Watto cheering on Sebulba in the stands. I think that's like cut out
Yeah,
of
the
other
later-
versions.
The later version of episode 1 is a much worse movie.
Yeah, so there we go. Phantom Menace. If you don't own it already, get a copy because it's like everywhere. It's on eBay.
It's everywhere.
Put in
I have
Wolfpack as a coupon and you'll get
Yeah, I
a
have
discount.
copies.
Put
Yeah.
a Wolfpack as a coupon and it will make a fart noise that Jar Jar
It will
reacts
because
to.
they'll be like, "Who's Wolfpack?" That's not a
Hey,
valid
you!
coupon. Yeah. So grab a copy and show it to your friends, and they'll be impressed, like Marcus discovered.
They will be. Yeah.
My last noob question is, why did they choose this name for this movie? Like, why did they choose Phantom Menace? Because I didn't see a menace nor a phantom in this film.
And it's the
it's-
thing me and Marcus were referencing about. It's like that. It's multiple it's tiered because it's not only the Phantom Menace of the menace of Palpatine and the rise of the Empire, but it's the menace of Darth Vader and the dark side of the Force lurking within Anakin. At the time, I was really edgy when this came out. I was like, you might as well call it Jedi Joe and the Forcey Bunch. And then,
Wow,
yeah,
that's
I was edgy. Yeah. Looking back, it's not that bad though, because it's got a serial vibe, you know.
Yeah.
We completely didn't even touch on the fact that Vader's breathing voice is at the very end of the end credits.
Yeah,
it's an incredible moment. I love that sequence. But I think the Phantom Menace.
For one, I actually don't know that that's always been there. I assume it has. But I never noticed it until I watched it for the first time on LD, because my commonplace is I usually watch all the credits after I watch a movie. It's just a habit. And when it came on, I had to Google it. I'm like, what in the world is this? I didn't even know this was here.
Mandela effect, yeah.
I'm gonna make a statement here, and I'm not going to explain. I think the Phantom Menace is a fucking terrible title.
I think
that it goes right up there with, why is the Trade Federation laying siege to Naboo? Why is Anakin born of raw midichlorians?
Yeah.
Why is Darth Maul Darth Maul?
I know. It taps.
Why is he barely in it?
Why is he not on the cover?
If he's so fucking cool, why don't you treat him like...
You don't even get to see his face on this freaking disc at all.
You get Jar Jar, though. Over to the left, you get Jar Jar.
I'm going to say one last thing. I love that the idea that the Trade Federation is just a bunch of, like, planets. It's like your planet's being invaded by Goldman Sachs.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like, oh my God, Australia is being invaded by an international... Australia is being invaded by an international shipping conglomerate. They set their boats with their crates.
They'll get them.
Like just imagine like fucking Nestle having a huge army of millions.
It's freaking Procter and Gamble.
Yeah, P&G will take you out. But yeah, the title, it's like this movie in a nutshell. Like, it's a cool idea. It's a reference to Lucas being inspired by old serial adventures. So it's got that cheesiness to it, like The Empire Strikes Back did, except he just fumbled and it sucks.
Yeah,
so it's
like, I don't have George Lucas's brain, and even if I did, I don't think I would know what to do with it.
Yeah,
I got a better comparison. It's like if Amazon invaded a country.
I mean, that's gonna happen. So Phantom Menace, we put the last nail in that coffin, right?
That's interesting. That's really interesting.
I'm still let down by the teaser poster, though. I had that.
Oh, it's such a good poster.
It's like this great poster. It's like, okay, this is what I need to see. This is what I really want to be told. And I really don't get much of it. I get bits and pieces and all kinds of...
There's nothing in that poster in the movie. My last thing, funniest scene in the movie. Funniest scene in the movie. I know, I keep doing this. Yoda goes, "Hey, there's 2 Sith." And then Mace Windu's like, "Yeah, which one did we kill, the Master or the Apprentice?" And then the camera tilts over, or pans over to Senator
George
Palpatine.
W. Palpatine.
Yep.
And it's like, all right, guys, send us home. Pack it up. We're done.
It is funny that ending, kind of ceremony, just how it doesn't resonate like the ceremony at the end of the first or the fourth film.
Not at all.
It's so funny.
Not at all.
And that's because the rest of the movie behind it sucks.
And had no import, yeah. All right,
Meanwhile, I was winning this, but...
Let's put this bad boy to bed and do some pickups.
I'm sure no podcast will ever talk about this movie ever again.
No, and exactly.
But will they talk about the LaserDisc?
That's where we got this unique perspective of the LaserDisc. And Ryan, how many cards are in your little card thing?
4. There are 4.
Nice.
If there's not 4 in your card pack, you have an incomplete pack, and somebody actually sent one of the postcards.
But that was not available on all pressings. I was like,
it was like a first pressing, so it's like a little pack.
Sick.
Here, hang on.
Yep.
See if I can. And then on the back, it's literally just a white card on the back. So,
Oh, one final LaserDisc tech spot. The alien dialogue, of course, because it's got Japanese subtitles in the bottom black bar of the film. The alien dialogue is not transcribed in English for you at all with on-screen subtitles. Did anybody check the LDG track, which I totally meant to do today, to see if there's any English on there?
You have an LDG decoder?
No, I got a Wait, where is it? There it is. That CLD R7G has got a built-in LDG decoder. So
No fucking shit. I've never used it, and I have 2 of them.
I mean, it also has closed captions, so
yeah,
presumably if both tracks are the same.
I was about to fire it up before the podcast, and I just ran out of time.
I had no idea. I've never known that.
So there's a chance, maybe, or just maybe it's just got nothing. But because
Anyways.
Watto speaks foreign language in quite a bit of numbers.
Yes,
It just says alien language in parentheses.
That's what I'm expecting. But
Yeah.
You mean you don't know what a Chubadanaya means?
So, all right, we'll report back. I'll watch it in LDG and see what's going on with it.
Please don't. You've suffered enough.
Yeah, fair enough. I was hoping one of you guys had tried it, but yeah.
I stupidly watched it on my Denon instead of my R7G because I had Runaway in my R7G queued up.
Again, yeah, you got to get it on Dolby Digital Player. It sounds pretty killer. I don't think I've ever listened to the Pro Logic track that's on it as well, but
it is also fucking surround. Killer.
Yeah, I'd imagine it's got to be amazing, as Hayden can attest to.
Oh yeah.
Yep. All right, let's do some pickups. Hopefully, everyone out there in the chat enjoyed the Phantom Menace. I think everyone loves it. I got a couple things. Let's see what we got. I'll start with this. I went to the Brimfield Flea Market, which happens triannually. I went to the first one of the year up in Massachusetts, and I found they're hilariously, it's like after a while you start to get LaserDisc radar. Like I was like walking up to a tent, and I just saw like the back of a jacket like 20 yards away, and I'm like, LaserDiscs, and ran in there. Didn't get too many though, but here's the Goldfinger I was watching. It's the 93. It's pretty much the same one that's in the Connery Collection box set, but it's the 93 poster art rendition. I wish they had done this whole series, but they only reissued the ones that had previously been unletterboxed in the Bond series. But they released the ones that weren't scope, and also License to Kill, because that was like previously a Fox release. So they dropped this on letterbox, but looks great. I like the just whole kind of back jacket styling there. So somebody had that. I was like, sick, I'll buy that. And also some crate. They had a whole crate of Criterion's one. So I grabbed Once Were Warriors. Lee Tamahori, who directed the best James Bond film, Die Another Day. Before that was a indie film director. And this is the one I saw the back of. I just saw that from so many paces away. And I'm like, that's a LaserDisc, 100%.
That's
freaking awesome.
And it's the good one. It's the reissue, the widescreen.
That transfer, amazing.
Yeah, this is better transfer than Phantom Menace, 100%. I mean, of course, it's 1.85 to 1, but great.
That's my tester disc. I've watched that exact pressing more than probably 150 times.
Nice. So I'm psyched I finally got a copy. Apparently, this place was like Hank City, because they also had the one Vinny got recently, the newly remastered Splash widescreen edition. So 100%, I was not going home without that. And got to get some Brone up in here. They had a copy of White Zombie.
Nice.
Snag that as well.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I love Thunder Kiss 65. I hope that's on there. And I ran down to the archive, grabbed a couple things that I can't show and one I can. MGM, latest release of She. Killer stuff. Glenn Danzig and the Misfits wrote a song about it, so you know it's good.
Yeah.
I think this is a 97 one. So
plus she was in a Bond movie.
97.
So.
Yeah, again, we're keeping with the Bond here. So, yep. Honey Rider in the house. And then my wife actually was spending a lot of my money at the archive, so she bought a copy of Karina.
Oh.
With Whoopi and Ray Liotta.
Wow.
Image.
Are you Whoopi complete, Sam?
I'm pretty close. I got Eddie. I got Sister Act 1 and 2. I got The Associate. Was that the name of that one?
You got all the
Flash?
experience yet? Or?
I don't have those. Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna have to get on that.
Jumping Jack Flash?
I don't have that now. It's funny because somebody in the Theodore Rex thread on LDF was like, oh, they should make that into a Vinegar Syndrome release. I'm like, don't, because then I'm going to have to get it and watch it and transfer it. Speaking of Vinegar Syndrome, worked on a couple things that just got announced, including this Invasion USA, which is actually just a jabroni beat up copy. Ryan sent me one that was defective, and so I bought him a replacement. So now I've got the old defective one that I can keep and put up as wall art or something. So,
Oh,
thanks, Ryan. And
No problem.
Also worked on Lifeline, this HK flick. It's basically HK backdraft film, so pretty good stuff. And it's got like a full write-up from Tai Sang on the back when they imported it, so that was nice of them. Oh no, it's got a Laser Blazer tag. And what else do we got? Boom. Oh, Ryan clued me into Thunderbolt being on sale, so I grabbed that.
That's the good pressing.
Yeah, so it's tough to find. Jackie films are so hit or miss on LD because it's like they're either cut or they don't have subtitles or yeah. And Jason from LDF and just from the chat. I don't know if he's here today. I don't think he is yet, but sent me a bunch of stuff, including Tenchi Muyo. That's number 2 and 3. So I got to get more of those. This is an interesting release because they just took the Japanese release and then this whole thing is just like a sticker or just a sheet of paper like adhered to the back of the Japanese jacket. So you could just lift this off and the Japanese jacket is underneath. It's pretty wild.
Wow.
They're just like, yeah, no, we'll just fake it.
I know how you feel about that when you finally get around to watching it.
Yeah,
I'm interested to hear your take.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. So I got to get one, obviously, so I can get into it properly. But yeah, one of the other amazing things he sent was DTS Independence Day, which I fired up. Looks stunning, sounds more than stunning. So fantastic.
Very nice.
I had to get a copy of that. So I've got 4 copies of Independence Day, which might be like a few copies too many, but yeah. They just
You have the special edition?
Yeah, I've got this. I've got the Dolby Digital equivalent of this. I got the special edition, and then I've got the Japanese one with the alternate, like European artwork with the red, which I kind of like.
Cover.
Yeah, I do too. Cover. So, gotta have them all. And Jason also sent last couple things. I showed the PAL LaserDisc of the special editions before from England. This is the German one. Which he sent me. Krieg der Stern. Hilariously, the spine is upside down. So, and then of course, if you flip it so it reads and matches your others, then your THX logo and your Fox logo are upside down. But it's pretty badass. It's unlike the UK one. It does have the flap like the Japanese version, and it's got independent Krieg der Stern sleeves, which are pretty cool. It's like right there on the outer sleeve. It's pretty cool. I watched these. It's pretty fun because they're dubbed in German. So 3PO sounds pretty good in German. Like the guy doing the dub was pretty solid. And it's got some special features, of course, also dubbed in German. But yeah, it's a trip. So that was cool. And finally, he sent me a Transformers Autobots box. It doesn't have the OB, so it's a half resolution. Man. But it was a trip watching the original series in Japanese because of course I watched it on TV when it first launched. So this is
does yours have the CD?
It does not have the CD, so it's in half resolution and the audio's missing. So
oh my gosh.
But fantastic. Yeah, new Pioneer logo there. Boom. So yeah, I got to get the follow-up as well. So that's been a blast kind of sifting through that because I'd only seen it in the American variation.
The artwork on the individual sleeves for those is awesome.
Yeah, I would pull that out, but that's already
and the booklet.
It's already 10 o'clock. Yeah, you have to pay for that on the Patreon. It's behind the paywall. Now I'll make a video about it and I can show that stuff. So, but Ryan, what do you got?
I got a few discs.
I believe you.
All right.
Let me move
so
over here.
First off, I decided to buy a lot of discs because I saw one thing. In the lot, and it was 150 discs, and I wanted one of them, which is always a great way to start your way. So all I saw was about this much.
Perfect.
You know what this is?
I know what that is.
Spider-Man. Oh yeah, Spider-Man.
Yeah. So I picked up this Spider-Man disc. It was super cheap. Besides the fact that I shipped all 150 discs back, and now I'm selling through all of them. So eventually I'll break even, but I'm working my way through it, but I picked up a Spider-Man disc for, technically 1,100 yen, but also lots and lots of work. So, yeah. But, and then I picked up some other foreign stuff. This one is the only one version. It's got a little bit on the cover that's screwed up, but this is another variant of hardware, so I'm almost hardware complete.
That's cool. I like that one.
Yeah, no, I can't wait to see it because I want to, get extra resolution, unlike those crappy pan and scans.
Sure. Yeah, it's like it's a 1.66 to 1 film or something. Anyway, so you're not missing much.
Way better.
Yeah.
Way better. Moving on, I got some Don the Dragon Wilson, Inferno.
So good.
This is Singapore only. So, yeah, all kinds of good stuff.
Amazing.
And the Dragon Gate. It's a Taiwan release.
Is that a game?
Ninja.
I literally got that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks cool. I still haven't watched it. So we'll see.
That looks sick.
Distortions. This
That's
looks
right.
cool. I don't know what it is, but it looks cool. I don't have it. I didn't have it. It's it looks like a Hong Kong release. So
Helicopter.
sequence, so it can't be bad. And he's trying to undress her there. So, you know, you got to show the best parts of the movie so people will rent it.
Jeremy's giving you props for your priorities for getting a ton of useless stuff just to get one Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, no, like that's why I do this. Like I'll spend the time, you know, I'll break even or whatever. It's great. Silencers.
Ooh.
This looks cool. It's got some sweet like gun sequence and explosions on the back. So.
It's like
Wow.
a lot of explosion stills there.
Yeah.
And the Judas Project.
Whoa.
Helicopters, too.
Yeah, I have no idea what this is.
3.
It just looked cool. Back looks
Whoa.
cool, and it's a Hong Kong release. So
Wild.
another Singapore release, I believe. This is Mars with
With
Lee
Gruner.
So really, really sweet.
Flamethrower
Where there's
on
life,
Mars?
there is also death. You know,
Yeah.
really great tagline. And all kinds of extras there.
Yeah, it's like Total Recall, but 10 times better, I'm guessing.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Flamethrowers on Mars.
That would be a good title right there.
That sounds illegal.
If you like inappropriate 80s comedies, you'll love Screwballs.
Not Meatballs.
Yeah,
At
Screwballs.
Screwballs.
At least we know
It's-
it goes all the way.
And
Oh yeah, and this is a Hong Kong release as well.
the art's looking super Porky's-esque, too, so...
Oh yeah, no, it's like a Porky's type movie.
Yeah.
So you know, really good, really proper for modern era. You know,
Yes.
definitely nothing that they would do now.
Nothing inappropriate.
Yeah, totally. But I'll probably laugh. And that's the key. Dillinger, nice.
Nice bullet holes.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's bullet holes everywhere. They're like, you know, we don't have any real art, so just copy the bullet hole everywhere and call it a movie.
That guy
Throwing-
screaming and firing his gun. Like, he looks pretty
Yeah.
intense.
Sick job.
Yeah, this is a nice era release. Can't go wrong there.
Cool.
Hang on a second. Let me not knock everything over.
Oh, Chris in the chat likes Mars. He says it's so good.
I'll have to
Wow.
watch it. I haven't yet, so good to know.
I doubt he has. He
Um,
liked the cover.
picked up this movie. It's a Hong Kong movie. It's called Psycho Cop Returns.
Ooh.
Ooh.
It's
Ooh.
common,
Sure.
and it's, you know, I gotta check the back before I flip it over on the camera. You know,
Yeah.
don't want Sam
Like
to
a
get
boobage.
demonetized, but
Mhm.
yeah, you never know because they're like, oh, this is the best part. It's like, well, maybe, but like we can't show it on YouTube. So, anyways, but was really glad to track this one down. Really hard to find.
Oh.
Oh, Jeremy's checking out. Bye, Jeremy.
Have a good one, Jeremy.
He's got to go, like, do stuff.
Like,
Unlike
you know.
us.
This one is Shooters or The Shooters. This is a AIP movie that I had to enter on LDDB.
Mm.
So, as you know, AIP makes the best movies on LaserDisc. So, apparently this one's terrible, but I now own the only known copy of it. So, can't wait to check this out. And
And it's era.
Yeah.
That's
no,
like
it was
legit.
an error release. It
Yeah.
just wasn't on the LDDB. And then moving back to movies I know will be good. Amazons. I mean, look at that. You got a bunch of Amazons on the cover. You've got a lion, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Wow.
And then on the back, you've got Amazons again. So
Wow.
another era release. So really looking forward to this. I'm sure it's really, accurate.
Oh, yeah,
So
I'm sure it matches
They're
that.
trying to be accurate
I don't know
too.
if that's Boris Vallejo painting or some knockoff, but yeah, it's going to be great.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then I put this one on LDDB too. There was another version, but I found this version This is a Singapore Michael Dudikoff. There's only like a known Chinese one, so this is the first one of these on there. There might be more copies that come up, who knows? But always good to add more Dudikoff to the collection. I did not have this yet, so I think I'm Dudikoff complete, but I don't know. I'll find another one. I mean, I found a TV show pilot already, so who knows?
Hard buh. She's blocking the all.
So this is technically the sequel to Bounty Hunters. So that's on LaserDisc. Already hard to find. Now you got to find the sequel. So yeah. And then I got a couple left. Got a couple heaters. So first and foremost, we'll start with this one. This is Broken Bars with Wings Hauser and Joe Estevez.
Nice.
Joe Estevez.
This did not exist until I saw some dude post in a forum a picture, and I was like, hey, LaserDisc guy, can you get this from him? And sure enough, I've now got some Hauser and some Estevez, and this is Broken Bars. I have no clue. I'm sure it's terrible.
I see the
But look at this back cover.
helicopter.
Holy shit, you've got Estevez, helicopter, dude, and then let's just throw in like a bikini chick and some fighting sequences. This looks like it's like wrestling.
Yes.
I don't know. I haven't seen this movie, so I'm really excited because this seems like it has everything that could be good.
I mean, it's got like, why is Joe Biden's younger self looking at us on the left of that?
I think that's Wings.
Oh, maybe it's Wings. Okay.
I think that's Wings.
Oh, okay.
So
I thought it was Biden
know.
time traveled or something.
It might be. Yeah. He'd probably ruin it though. Like Wings though, I got hope.
I mean, we could elect Wings for president, right?
Yeah.
Is he running?
And then, I wish. I'm sure he is, but we probably won't know.
I'll write him in.
Yeah, there we go. If we all write him in, we'll get there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And only one thing can be like better than a Wings Hauser movie, and that's the missing full moon that I needed.
Oh, nice.
And this is from the Moonbeam collection. This is Magic Mirror Foul Play.
Duck
I
reference.
think it's actually like Magic Mirror 2. I don't know.
It's Magic Mirror 2.
Yeah, so it's the sequel. I don't know if the first one, no one knows it's on LaserDisc, but the second one is.
Potentially not on LaserDisc. It's not on the database, at least.
Yes.
This
Right, exactly. So you never know what garbage might be uncovered, but I am now, again, Moonbeam complete. So I was US complete. Now I'm world complete, I think, until something else shows up. Who knows?
Ryan's exploring new worlds.
Yeah. Seriously, like I just like, hey, what did you find in the dumpster over, across the world, 12 hours away?
Yep.
And it's this sweet Moonbeam.
It's like
so I'm really excited to have this piece of garbage. This is why I collect. So yeah. But yeah, that does it for my pickups.
Nice. Who's up next, Hayden? You got any pickups?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I got a couple things. So got some discs in from Luke. He sent me this Slackers.
Sweet.
I've never seen this before. Never heard of it till Luke mentioned it. But he said it takes place in Texas. As a loud, hot-blooded Texan, I have to have that.
Yeah, it's like a Linklater thing, right? He's like always doing Texas movies, like Dazed and Confused.
I wouldn't. Oh, I have seen it.
Yeah.
Back when I was in high school. I barely remember it. I remember the all right.
That's it. You got it.
You're good.
And Luke sent me this. I don't know the title of this, but it says Wonder at the top.
Oh, wow.
So on the back, we've got like feudal Japanese warriors and giant monsters. So this seems like it'll be a good time.
Sweet.
Whatever it is.
Can't go wrong with an SFX label.
Yeah, that's the good stuff.
Yeah.
And then he sent me some random volumes of Ultraman Taro, I believe. So first two volumes of that. Finally get to get around there. And he sent me the Marauders Metropolis.
Man.
I have never seen Metropolis at all until I put this on.
Yep.
This is atrocious. This is horrible.
That was
amazing.
That with Song of the South, that was the hottest LaserDisc in like 1999 to 2000 because it was
that's depressing.
It was unreleased on DVD at the time. So man, people overpaid for that like crazy.
Eventually, I'm going to get around to getting the normal version, like on Blu-ray or whatever. But like the fact that this was like something people were paying through the nose for is incredible.
It was hot. You should go back in time and sell it.
Yeah. And I got some stuff in off the Zen Market. Of course, I had to get Breaking 2.
Heck yeah.
The Japanese version, which I think I mentioned this when we did the Breaking episode, but when you Google translate the subtitle, it isn't Electric Boogaloo. It's TKO and the Boogle Beat.
Yeah.
Which is, what they should have gone with, honestly.
Nice corner, Obi.
So, oh, yeah. I don't think my Breaking one has a corner Obi, but I kind of like the second one a little more, so I'm happy that it had the corner Obi on that. And then I got, I'm sure Vinny has seen this, Allegro non troppo. It's an Italian comedic fantasia, basically.
I mean, he likes Cinema Paradiso, so I think he'd love this.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure he would. I'm sure he's seen it. Sure he loves it. A lot of cool, weird, like trippy animation in this. There's a bunch of scenes in between where you cut to the orchestra, and like, I guess this is in Italian with Japanese subtitles. So I'm just went in.
And I'm just
There's
seeing
a US pressing. Is that, but it's only one disc. Is that a gatefold?
This is a gatefold. This is CAV, though, but I think the US one is cut, though. I think there's some scenes.
Okay. Yeah,
I don't think the animation is cut, but from what I understand, the live action scenes in between are cut out. And those are scenes where, like, the guy who I guess is financing the orchestra has these, like, comical scenes in between where gradually more and more hell is breaking loose. With the artist who's supposedly animating everything while the orchestra is playing. So
I see
it was a good time.
The text there is Neo Fantasia instead of Allegro non troppo.
Yeah.
So
and they do have it kind of faded at the bottom here.
Oh, like tiny.
Really,
yeah, there it is. Yep.
Yeah. But
I'm surprised Disney didn't
it was a good time.
cease and desist them.
Yeah.
And then I got the legendary Pulgasari from North Korea. I got halfway through this and I had to stop because it's really bad. There's really, I was hoping it would be amusingly bad, but it's just kind of, I'll eventually get around to watching the second half eventually, but it's like, it's one of these movies where just things just happen. And I was following along with like a plot synopsis online and I was, how did we get here? And then okay, cool. This is happening now. And there's a little monster the size of a bean that's like, looks creepy and gross and I don't like him.
So
and then the next scene, he's just giant. Yeah.
I see a new.
Pulgasari is the Phantom Menace.
I see a new Pioneer logo on there too. So respect.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I got it without the Obi, so
half resolution.
Half resolution, but it is what it is.
Half centaur.
And then I got Razorback.
Oh yeah.
Sick.
Which is bad but awesome.
Yeah.
There's some awesome scenes, some awesome shots in this. I love how every time the pig growls, the camera goes crazy with the shaking.
Yep.
It's a good time. The aspect ratio is weird on this one. It's like it's widescreen, it's letterboxed, but then it's stretched vertically a little bit.
Oh yeah.
So you have to like squeeze it down to get it to be scope. It's weird.
It's potato scope.
Yeah. And we picked this up for my fiance. She's a huge Moomins fan.
Oh, nice.
So I got the Moomins film, Comment Over Moomin Valley. Very cute, very nice.
Sweet
very
jacket.
Good transfer on this. Oh yeah, it's real nice. The back, I like the back a lot. It's got these weird little, I don't know what these things are, but they're in the movie and they do this. They float around in the water and look cute.
Where's Darth Maul's face?
Yeah.
It's not even there, bro.
I think Jar Jar makes an appearance.
I bet he does.
For sure.
The Moomins would totally kick his butt.
And then I got this awesome 80s edition of Godzilla vs. Gigan.
Nice.
This amazing Yuji Kaida artwork.
So transformative.
The digital remaster of this has just some of the worst Photoshop. It's just like photos of the monsters colorized and then cut out and Photoshopped together. It looks terrible, but this analog edition looks very nice.
Yeah, it's a sweet jacket too.
And then this, I did not get off the Zen Market. I got this on eBay, but just because it was not cheap, but a little cheaper than usual, legendary Angel's Egg.
Ooh.
I don't know if you've seen this, Sam, but if you hadn't seen this,
it's been on my list for a long time. Yeah.
If I would have had this disc when we did the episode where we assigned each other movies, this is what I would have sent you. This is like one of my favorite movies ever made.
It's been more than a year. We should do it again.
Yeah.
We should do it again. I'll send it to you.
Do that again.
Yeah, round 2, baby.
Yeah.
Listen.
I'm gonna block all of you.
Ryan doesn't want to watch anything we like. Yeah. Hey, we had fun.
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a good time.
Chris, you got any pickups?
you know I've got at least one or two. Okay, so I'm going to start with, I went to New York City quite recently. I stayed in Brooklyn to see some shows with a friend. And while I was in the lovely borough of Brooklyn, I met fellow panelist Vinny.
Nice.
We got a couple of slices, and then in tried and true Chris Haller fashion, I bought LaserDiscs out of the trunk of his car.
Yes.
First one.
Yeah.
Finally got my hands on the AC3 Logan's Run, baby.
Somebody was just asking what Stealth AC3 is, and that right there is Stealth AC3.
Yep.
I cannot wait to get into this one. Logan's Run was the first movie to ever be mixed and mastered with the Dolby Stereo noise reduction in 70mm. So I've been dying to get my hands on this mix for years.
That also has great like center surround activity, even though it's not an EX track.
Ooh.
I got a nice little Japanese horror movie called The Spiral.
Dude, nice.
Nice.
And I got its counterpart, the perhaps more well-known The Ring.
Yeah.
Gotta fire up the Genlock and watch these two. Probably this summer when I have a little more time.
Got that Obi hype sticker on there too still.
Oh yeah.
Watch them raw.
Yeah.
No, I won't do that. I've worked too hard to watch Japanese films raw. I've got a nice Japanese DTS LaserDisc of Waterworld, which I kind of like in the same way that I like Star Wars Episode 1.
Man, we should assign that someday. That's a good one to force everyone to watch.
I think that's
I would like to revisit that. Yeah.
I think we should. I think it's a good watch, especially in DTS.
Great movie.
I got myself a copy of the DTS experience.
Did Vinny get all this stuff?
I know. What
only the first.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, Vinny's trunk is a heater.
Sorry. I should have transitioned away from that.
No, that's fine.
That one's on me.
Yep.
I saw a 35mm archival print of Sam Raimi's A Simple Plan.
Nice.
So I bought the LaserDisc of it immediately.
Choice.
And
really
this
nice.
movie's fucking incredible. Yeah. Love this movie. How did you have it so?
Did Ryan just? Oh my God! Everybody's got A Simple Plan.
I had some Japanese lots come through, so I got myself the TV cut of Fanny and Alexander, which I'm going to watch one of these days when I have a little bit more time off.
Huh.
I stopped at the local record archive and picked up the Criteria or the Pioneer Special Edition of Spetters.
Yes.
And I've been on a Verhoeven kick lately, so I'm probably going to sit down and watch this one pretty soon. And then finally, in a recent package, I acquired the entirety of Space Battleship Yamato.
Whoa.
There are 3 different seasons. This one is the complete season 1. I figured I didn't need to show you all 3 of them, but I've already watched the first disc. It is quite good in that way that 70s sci-fi anime is. The guy who purchased them labeled the date that he purchased them on each of these.
Oh yeah, September 93.
This has traveled to my house all the way from September 1993.
Huh.
Wow.
Sick.
And I will have a big box coming in soon. Unfortunately, it'll be here on Tuesday.
No.
So I'll have to save those goodies for next time, but that's all I've got.
Sweet. Maxine, what do you got?
Oh, I've got some. Well, I showed this last time, but not enough people got to ooh and ah over my exciting.
Oh, some MI2 in house.
Yes.
I still need that.
I did a trade, otherwise I wouldn't be here. But yeah, I got that one too. So that's why it was literally right there. But yeah, I got a bunch of like weird stuff. So I'm gonna show some other weird oddity things that are like more promo adjacent. So okay, first and foremost, went into a thrift store and found a DTS cup.
Ooh.
Oh, sick.
Only in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Literally. Sam, this is coming to you.
Yeah, hell yeah. I'm going to drink in 5.1, baby.
Literally, that's
That's going to be my new podcast.
I
Kylo Ren's
like
getting kicked to the curb.
The second I saw that, I'm like, that's going to Sam.
Nice, love it.
And then, this is so thin. It's so perfect. And it's so sick.
That is definitely like...
But it's super tuner.
Oh, man. I would drive my 70s whip with the super tuner stereo to a party and walk around with that in the 70s.
So sick. I loved it.
So that was probably 80s, right?
This is probably... No, honestly, this is probably... Look how thin and
maybe
micro...
it is 70s.
I think it's a 70s shirt.
Yeah.
It's so thin.
Sweet.
It's got like if the the newest it could be is like 83, I feel like. But it's just fresh from the pickup. I haven't washed it yet.
That's awesome.
And then I got a book.
Oh, sick. Yeah.
This one's pretty cool.
How old is that one?
This one is I believe there's another length. Then this is the like updated one. This is 92. So this has more of the newer era players. Like a lot of these books kind of have the like really just start of the format player kind of behind the scenes stuff, which is like helpful, but like if you're like getting into like a consumer model, like not helpful at all.
No. Yeah.
So like this is more kind of 92 era, which is a lot, and previous. So you're getting kind of the best of, that point.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Didn't you get one, Sam?
I did not get one. No.
Oh man, blew up your
Should
spot.
pick one up. I know. So sorry. Go. Yeah.
You gotta grab one.
Quick.
Yeah.
Get one quick.
It's too late. Now all the kids are going to eBay right now.
I know. No, it's hard to come by. I thought I tried to give you a heads up that I was
you probably did, and I probably just dropped the ball because I was too busy like doing dumb stuff.
I mean, I even bought one, Sam, and I don't read books.
Right? I know it's a good book though.
What is this thing? Is that like a
So
booklet?
this is strange. I have never seen anything like this. It's like this I see a lot. This kind of like best 30 kind of thing.
Okay,
or like best 10. But this has this thing inside, which is a spinner.
I was gonna ask, are we playing like Twister? LaserDisc Twister?
Yeah, it's literally LaserDisc Twister. And it tells you like all these different like genres, documentation, documentary, education, music, movie, how to, and then image music. And then you spin the spinner and it tells you like stuff, obviously in Japanese, but it tells you stuff. But I just think this is so weird.
Sweet. It's like Led Zeppelin 3, but LaserDisc.
Yeah.
Is it like so you can pick what to watch?
I don't know. I think it's like to help you like figure out like, I don't know. It's got like player stuff.
Yeah, it's oddly interactive.
It's like, see, like this says like LD. The only thing I can see is the player model, like LD 1000 or like.
It's like take your pants off and put an alien.
LD 600 and LD 1000. It's like telling you about the player models. And then like the back is like advertising like players.
Yeah.
So it's strange. We'll have to figure out what the heck this actually says. But yeah, it's just a weird thing.
Don't mess with it too much. I've seen Hellraiser. It's totally going to summon. Like,
it's going to summon the LaserDisc Hell Demon.
LaserDisc Pinhead.
We should make a giant one of those for picking out episode topics.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so sick. Let's do it. But this is so party and so like this is just sums me up. I just love this.
That's great.
It's so wacky. This is why I love the format. It's just wacky stuff that they just were like, look at what's new.
Yep.
Look at the embossing chrome that we have.
Yeah, they're really going for it.
Over here. Yeah. I was just very excited about that. Okay, so I am going to show another strange thing that is a crossover pickup, and then I'll show you actual sets here because I put that in my stack, and now Ryan showed it, so I'll just quickly show the I2
Dragon Gate. Yep.
Dragon Gate.
Wild. I'm gonna have to watch that.
And then I never find anything like right outside my front door, kind of local.
Oh.
But I found this
Nice.
recently. Yeah, and I
Pretty
had
late
that
release,
long ago.
99, is it?
I think so. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gonna be 98.99.
Yep.
I don't know where it says that. But
Yeah, it
I
might be
believe-
Disney pressing. They never put dates on their stuff.
Yeah,
It's 99.
Yep.
yeah. But I had that long ago, and I was like, oh, I'm never gonna watch that. And then it's of course,
Yep. And then you get rid
and
of
then
it.
I instantly regretted it.
Oh, that looks fun.
It
T-Rex
is.
on there? Is that Bolin, I
Yeah.
see?
It's got Jeepster, it's got
Yep.
Gary Glitter, Slade, Sweet, Alice Cooper, basically that, and Wizard.
Oh, sweet.
Pretty cool. And I got a bunch of
Sick.
XTC Smiths.
Nice. Yeah, I don't see that often.
No, I literally never see that. And then I got this is obviously not the one that everyone thinks it might be because it's DTS.
I was going to say, is that the DTS? Yep.
and
Sweet.
it's little baby DTS.
Stealth DTS.
It's so
Oh.
good too. That DTS track is lovely.
And now that my DTS is actually working, because I just realized
Yep.
when I was working on my setup that it was never working ever.
Yeah, we were
Look
doing
at
some
the sun.
troubleshooting on some of that stuff.
Yes,
And it was pretty
Sam
fun.
helped me troubleshoot, and I solved all of my problems.
It was
Like,
great. Yeah,
literally.
you're all set.
Yeah, I'm.
We gotta
I'm yeah.
send Maxine a subwoofer.
I literally have chosen. It's a life choice.
Yeah, we talked about it because space and aesthetics. And,
Yes,
yeah.
it's an aesthetic. If I show
Aesthetics.
I will show you the aesthetics.
Yeah.
I have
It's
chosen
okay,
all
Max.
my speakers for
You know
aesthetic
your
reasons.
space, and you can do with whatever, and I will support you 1,000%
Yes.
because it's your space.
It's
I'm just being dramatic.
it's 1970s avocado green,
Yep.
walnut, and there is no where does the subwoofer?
There's no
fit in?
subwoofers. Yeah, yeah.
There's no subwoofer there.
You don't have a spot for a giant matte black box in the middle of
Absolutely.
this
Hide it under the
space?
couch.
Yeah.
If I was thin and I could do that, I would consider it, but then I have to hide wires, and that's
Yeah.
the new problem. I have no carpet. It's all tile, and I had to discreetly wind all the things around so I could get all my speaker wire.
Hey,
I
Max, you can hook them up wirelessly. I have 2 subs that are hooked up to my receiver wirelessly. I'll show
Okay.
you. I'll give you a link.
This
It's the product you can
You
use.
could do transducers
I'm
in the couch
open.
too to get like a rumble effect.
And I'm sure we can find you a
70s
wood
couch I
veneer
put that.
covered subwoofer. It's possible.
Yeah,
It's out
Marcus
there.
is coming over.
It
He'll
would
hook
have
it
to
up.
be. It would have to be this
Yeah, I'm coming
tall
over.
to fit
Yeah.
under my sofa.
All right.
This
All right.
tall. This wide.
I'm on it. I'm on
Yeah.
it.
He's setting it up
But
for you.
I'm open. Right now I do need to fix my center speaker because I have a paradigm that has one speaker that's like making
Oh
some
yeah,
sound.
yeah.
But it fits perfect, and I can shut the cabinet door and you don't have to look at the center, and it's very aesthetically pleasing. But I digress. So
Oh,
I don't
nice
know
one.
if I showed this before.
Carbon Electra. Nice.
May have showed this before, but I'm getting my stacks mixed up lately.
You could like show stuff from
Movie
5 years
is
ago.
So bad, but so good because it's so bad.
Our biggest fan is like,
I'm
she
excited
showed
about
that already in episode 13.
So if someone please call me out on it.
Yeah.
I would love to find that out.
Sweet jacket there.
Yes, prison heat.
Oh yeah, the
It's
impacts are
hotter
great.
than regular heat.
Yeah,
It's very much hot. It looks good.
twice as hot.
And then
Oh yeah, nice. That's got the guy, the LDFer on the right,
Yeah, that's my favorite part about that cover is that dude that's like very small.
with the crisscross kind of like bandolero thing. Yeah, that guy.
and
he's in our group.
He's a,
Yeah.
no, he just like reminds us of like some
Oh,
like
he
random
looks like everyone in
LDFer
LDF.
who comes in hot.
You're right.
He's like, I
Oh
just
my
discovered
God.
LaserDisc. And,
Hell yeah, that's him right there. I
Is
love
this
that.
Laser
actually.
Rot?
yeah. How do I make my picture better? Oh,
Ooh, nice.
hey
This
now.
is the last one I needed. I'm very, very stoked. This is now I'm complete on these.
Sick.
As long as there's only 5 volumes.
Yeah,
There are only 5.
Okay, then I'm complete. I'm stoked.
that's awesome.
Now I can watch them all because I've been waiting. I've really been. I love the special effects, miniatures, and all that type of stuff.
Gamer Guys Review wants to know if you have caged heat as well as prison heat.
I might.
I'm guessing you do. I know Ryan's
Might.
probably got it.
I know he does. I don't know if
I think I'm prison
I'd have
movie
to verify
complete.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I don't think I'm prison complete yet.
All right, what's this one?
This one. So I had never heard of this,
Huh.
but it's Surfers the movie,
Hmm.
and I don't know. It just seems like it's maybe music-ish, but it's the thing that sold me. Now this is very important. It's gotcha sportswear,
Oh, okay.
and Surfer Magazine presents.
Yeah, so
And I
it's
was
like a
if Gotcha's freaking sponsoring a Laserdisc, I have to have it.
but yeah, it's not like Big Wednesday or anything like that. It's like a
It's
like
not-
music video
no.
surfing.
Yeah, there's the music on it.
Oh, cool. Hendrix, Tom Tom Club. Oh, U2 is on there. Wow.
Right?
Public
yeah,
Image?
and then
Huh.
yeah,
Jimi
Public
Hendrix.
Image, yeah.
Bob Marley.
Oh yeah.
This kind of an interesting disc here, but I don't know. It says the movie, and then it says like Gotcha Sportswear, and then it says Take Two. So like
Oh, there's another one, I bet.
I don't know. Is this 2 things? Like, is it one side's one thing? I have no idea.
maybe.
It's technically sealed, so I haven't watched this.
All right, report back.
Yeah, it looks really interesting. And then I got this.
Ooh.
Nice.
What's with the moon face lady or planet face?
Well, it's Berlin 21st century.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. It all adds up now.
Yeah. Okay, and then my heaters here. Not that Mission Impossible 2 isn't a heater, but I finally
Robo
have
complete?
robos. The robos that I needed to be as complete as I wanted for my shelf.
Nice.
I stupidly got rid of this. And or it's in here and I don't know where it is.
I mean, that's a good problem to have. Surprise, you got an extra RoboCop 2 widescreen.
It might, yes, but this is definitely the one you're looking for because this is the widescreen. Yeah. If you can't find the late release ridiculous US one, this is your second best bet. And then bonus is that they are also in widescreen, which 3 US is not widescreen.
Yeah.
Right.
And I believe it's the RoboCop. It's only the Criterions that are in widescreen.
Yeah, and that's even just barely. It's like 1.66 to 1 or something like that. So
like, Nays kind of just get like the whole trilogy in widescreen from Japan.
Plus, they got rad Obies. Like, those all look cool.
These Obies are super cool.
Yeah.
I love the green Obi. Now, this is a fake out, though, because the making of disc, which is making of RoboCop 1, it's almost the identical color Obi. Very similar Obi, so don't get faked out by that if you see them in a stack like this. This is not.
Oh, yeah. You could be,
You could be easily faked out, but yeah, this is for all you people that are investigating on the internet. This is what they look like if someone stacked them oddly.
Yes.
But this is one Sam's gonna have to do a follow up to. What's the difference between covers, because the 2 RoboCops look very freaking similar until you look at the comparisons.
Nice.
This is a different cover, I promise you.
All right.
Even if the Obi isn't there, because that's the only thing that's going to tell you
Wild.
if it's widescreen. So if this was gone and you didn't know,
you would have no idea. Yeah.
You wouldn't have you'd have to know. So, and then I just got the other.
How about this one?
Oh yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
Comment.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Marcus has got some more robos.
Yes. Yeah, that's the making of.
That's pretty cool looking too. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a whole. It's about there-ish. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Marcus, you got any heaters?
Yeah, you know me. I always bring heat. So
turn the video off. Block him. Get him out of the call. I don't want to see how many 2,000 discs he got. I don't want to hear anything about his EX discs.
Yeah. You're basically you're foreshadowing where we're going here.
I just want to hear about the analog only releases from 1983 that you picked up.
Put your protective gear on.
Those too.
Because we're gonna get burned.
We got boxes from Japan. We got a Broterian box that went slow boat. And as I, look at all these titles, it's almost like looking into how Ryan was collecting from like 2019 to 2021, because many of these titles either added to LDDB or he added a comment, right, to clarify something about the title. So it's actually quite funny. So anyway, we will go through these. Let's see. First one.
Sick.
Hong Kong release.
Nice.
Not often seen.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that jacket rules.
No English on that one, but pretty cool artwork.
I don't think you need
very cool.
Yeah, we know
artwork,
how
I
it goes.
Yeah.
We can watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next one.
Yeah.
Cyber Vengeance.
Yes.
The art on this is quite interesting. It's like Microsoft Paint meets maybe PowerPoint.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's PowerPoint.
The cover is better than the movie. I'm going to warn you. The cover.
Yeah, there you go. Awesome.
It totally looks like a Commodore 64 game I bought at Kmart that was like,
This was on my
Public
list
domain.
for worst covers.
Yeah. It's terrible.
Yeah.
All right. Destination Vegas.
whoa.
Not a super common. I watched the trailer and I was like, yep, that's one I need. So let's do this. Looking forward to checking it out.
Cool layout. I like that.
Yeah.
A little Billy D. Williams and Vanity action.
Ooh.
That's all I needed to know. I didn't need to know anything else. Got Billy D. Williams and Vanity in it. I'll give it a spin.
Are you Vanity complete yet?
I'm not, but I'm working on it.
Oh, man,
working on
get there.
I'm working on it. Yeah, anything I see with Vanity, I pick up. All right. Never heard or seen this, but This is right up my alley.
Whoa.
East LA Warriors.
There are no
I mean,
laws.
There's so much going on here. You know, shirtless dude, gun.
Hell yeah.
Of course, you got a half naked girl on there. And then there's some serious, there's like some fighting
okay.
going on.
Huh.
Right?
And
fighting and love making.
And there's some love at
So-
the bottom, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Like Tom Savini is the star, though. It's
I
like
know that guy with the stash.
a Tom Savini lookalike.
Like he just probably
East
owns
LA.
some store in East LA, and they're like, "You're the villain
I
in our
mean,
film."
I've been to East LA. It's pretty rough. So
Right,
I'm
yeah.
curious how rough this film is.
It's accurate representation, I'm sure.
Exactly. All right, here's another urban themed film.
Oh,
Yeah.
Crackdown, Big City Blues.
Wow.
If you're keeping track, there's, from what I know, there's only 3 LaserDiscs that reference crack cocaine in the title.
Wow.
This was the last one that I needed, so I'm now
crack
Crack
complete.
you know, if it's a thing, any self-respecting person that collects urban films, you got to be crack complete. So
Yeah.
here we go.
Exactly. That's
That's
a
amazing.
milestone.
Yeah.
It is a milestone.
Yeah.
All right, this is within the theme of what we've been talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There it is.
Chained E2. So these women prison films, right? There's so many of them.
I know.
These women prison films is such a sentence to say out
What's the
loud.
deal with these women prison films?
They are a thing. They are a thing.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna keep it in the Bridget Nelson theme
Excellent.
here.
Yeah.
Here's another
Yeah.
one with her.
Sweet.
Body count.
Looks like Robert Davi up there.
Oh yeah.
It is.
Nice.
Yeah, Robert Davi, Steve Bauer.
Oh, that's who that other one. All right. Yep.
Yeah. Scarface.
Kick ass.
All right. This one I got just because of the cover. I've seen Ryan
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
post
That's a
about
good
this one
one.
before.
Yeah.
Silencer. She's holding that gun in just the right way. You know,
Yeah.
this
Ooh,
has got to
yeah.
be good. This
She
has
knows
got to
what
be
she's
good.
doing.
Yeah.
She knows what she's doing. Yeah. Yeah. Caress it, squeeze it, feel the kick.
Yeah.
Not sure if we're still talking about the gun.
I think
but,
so.
you know.
Totally. 100%.
100%.
Gamer Guy likes it. Chained Heat 2 is good, but it's no Caged Heat 2 starring Jules Shepard. So, all right,
Ooh.
you
Okay.
gotta
Good
get
to
that.
know.
Yep.
Good to know where they rank
Yeah.
amongst each other.
Yeah.
The women prison films.
Exactly.
All right. Sometimes you need a true professional,
Ooh.
Yes.
and you just got to trust me. You
I
just
don't
got to
know.
trust
I
me.
don't know if I would consider that look to be very professional.
I mean, just trust her.
She looks
Professional is one
sunburned
thing.
from this perspective.
And that's what a
She
true
is.
professional
She-
looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Burnt.
And her hand, her finger should not be on that trigger like that. But,
Oh, yeah. Good call.
you know,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it looks cool as
safety
hell.
first.
It's a squirt gun, so don't worry about it.
Right. Right. But yeah, the flames and the everywhere is very cool.
Remember, that's a Jeff Probst film, the Survivor guy.
Wow.
Okay.
No way.
Yep.
He brings
Wow.
the thunder.
That's amazing.
All right. Another Cynthia Rothrock pickup. Angel, the kickboxer.
Nice.
Holy
Oh.
shit, that artwork.
Yeah. Cut and paste. That's great.
So many
I
people.
mean, there's so much going on here. First of all, her jacket is awesome, the green leather
Yes.
Yeah.
jacket.
Yeah.
Of course, she has
And
a
her
gun. For some
Yeah.
reason, she has a ball cap.
Yeah.
Not sure why. And
Casual,
then there's
out and about.
multiple guns here. Everybody has a gun, pretty much.
Of course.
Yeah. And then you got some kick action going on here
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
in the back. So this one is, I believe this one is Honor and Glory.
Yep.
That was the U.S. title, and that one's definitely not a U.S. common. But this one has a longer runtime, so this would be the one I would go for over the U.S.
Is
version.
Simon Yam in that one?
Yeah, I didn't see him, but I could be wrong.
No.
He does show up in everything.
He does show up in everything.
He's not. in
Not
that.
sure since
Yeah.
I can't read
Yeah.
the back.
I
Yeah,
was just
come
trying
on.
to see if it was his face. His face is very like once you know his face, he's everywhere.
He's everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's got Robin.
All
Schulz
right.
in it, though.
What do we call him?
okay.
Walkie Pie? Is that what we
Yeah,
call him? all the
Walkie
time?
Pie. It's Walkie Pie. I had to like
Next
remember
up.
his name.
Yeah. Oh, hey.
Next up, we got some Billy Blanks and Roddy Piper action.
Sweet.
That's all I need to know. Don't need to know anything else.
Yeah.
Never seen this, but should be fun.
Yeah, are you Billy complete yet?
Really good.
Oh no, not
Yeah.
even close.
All right, nice.
But Billy's another one. If I see a title from Billy, I'm picking it up.
Yeah, I
No
need
questions
Showdown.
asked.
Tybo.
That's my favorite. Yeah, Tybo, baby.
I still don't know who most of these people are.
You've been here long enough. You should recognize them.
Yeah.
Boss.
At this point, it's too late for me to learn. I'm too old.
Bosworth,
Hell yeah.
Virus.
Man. Not to be confused with the
Man,
other
that-
virus.
yeah.
The Jamie Lee Curtis one?
Yeah, no, not that one.
Yeah.
This one came before. I think this one came just before. I think this was mid 90s or so.
Yeah. And then they ripped that off because they were like, man,
100%.
Yeah.
Bosworth movie rips. We got to steal that.
I don't know if this came after Outbreak though.
Oh, yeah. Look.
Probably came after Outbreak, I
Yeah,
believe.
it's copping that Outbreak style for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Human Time Bomb.
Wow, they
Wow.
really stretched that human out. That's wild.
We got Flames. We got Muscle Guy,
Oh,
Found Guy.
Some
Probably does
surgery? What's
martial
going
arts.
on there? Is that like
It could be
Yeah.
surgery.
is that like doctors like performing?
Probably
inserting the
implanting
time.
something.
They're
Oh,
inserting the
dude.
bomb.
Yeah, he's got implants, I bet.
Yeah,
got
it's
implanted
probably an
bomb.
implant of some sort.
Yeah, it's probably
Yep.
like a Snake Plissken thing. He's going to blow up if he doesn't do something in a certain amount of
Yes.
time, I bet.
Fully
Yeah.
that.
Whoa.
Hawk's Vengeance.
God.
Interestingly, I don't know how they got the title wrong, but there's supposed to be an apostrophe S here
They just
because
dropped
it's
it.
on the spine.
Yeah.
It's called Hawk's Vengeance, but somebody didn't get the memo and just
Yep.
put Hawk Vengeance.
They couldn't
on
afford the
here.
S.
Good enough.
Yeah,
Better that way.
but huge gun, no shirt,
Giant
Hell
hawk.
and a hawk. And it looks like he's a ladies' man too, of course.
Well, yeah.
course.
How could he not be, right?
Sure.
Okay, let's do some box sets.
Oh,
So if
Oh
you
god,
saw,
not the boxes.
yeah, I'm intrigued.
yeah, the box sets. This is where it
Oh,
gets fun,
boy.
Howler. This is where it gets fun.
This is where the fun begins.
Strap in,
This
buddy.
is where the fun. Yeah, it was already fun, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna kick it up a notch here. I'm gonna
Now
kick it-
this
kick
is
it up a
pod
notch.
racing.
Put your PPE on, buddy.
So if you recall, Austin Settle was visiting family in Southern California. He's from Austria, and his family doesn't live terribly far from me, and so we arranged for him to come over. What did we watch? We watched Sixth Day, just a few scenes in Sixth Day,
Flex.
and then I demoed. I don't remember the other title that I demoed, but I demoed something else, and it was fun. So we traded some titles. So this was one of the
Oh.
titles that I got from him.
Ooh.
Cool.
I've seen
Animated
that
series
one.
of The Mask.
Yeah.
I've seen that one up for
this-
sale a few times.
Oh yeah, I've never seen this for sale.
Same, yeah.
Otherwise, I probably would have grabbed it. I believe that there's a couple of U.S. releases, but I don't think they have all of the
Mm-mm.
cartoons that this one has, all the episodes. So
No, that's the most complete you're getting on that. Yeah.
yeah. So that's one. Next one we'll do
Oh, I know what that is.
is this guy.
Oh, man.
Turn the video
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
God. Everyone's got
Sorry,
the box
Howard.
I do
except
not
me.
have that.
No, I don't have the box either. Trust me.
I know, I
I've been
don't
I've been
Alright,
trying
I
for
feel
years.
better knowing that Sam and I are both suffering in
How
silence.
do I have the box and you guys don't? Seriously, how do I have that?
Luke almost gave
I've
it to
been-
one
I've
of
been
us.
looking for this.
Right,
He
I
did.
will drive
The whole
over
set.
there and take
Oh.
it from you if you don't want it.
Please do. I need the space.
Since
Yeah.
I got the whole set, I've been looking for the box
Same.
and finally
Yep.
found the box. The way I found it, it was listed, and like the last photo included a photo of the box. It wasn't in the first photo, and that's the only way I got this. So there wasn't as much heat on this one as there typically is when it pops up.
Yeah.
It still wasn't cheap, but it wasn't as much heat as there would have been. So
Yep.
super cool to have that. And I sold my other set.
And it's not beat up. I always see that box like
Yeah.
it's been through the ringer a little bit. So yours
Yeah,
looks
it's in
nice.
good shape.
Yeah.
It's a really good shape. All right, I think this is the last box I'm going to do, and then I got a couple final heaters for Howler.
The knockout.
So
Yep.
Howler's going to love this one too. It's still sealed.
Oh, box 2.
Box
No.
two.
No, I've got box 1 over here.
Man.
I thought about showing it off, but I have discs leaning against it. I didn't want them to fall over.
Yeah.
God, that looks sexy.
So
Wow.
Oh, my
2001 release, still sealed.
Wow.
You know me and sealed. I rip those things open, but I'm
that
gonna
hype,
have
though.
a hard time opening this
Yeah,
one.
Yeah.
Right. So
that's tough with the sticker. Oh,
I know with the hype sticker
and-
intact.
Oh, that's tough.
I don't know that I can open that. So we'll see.
Send it
All
to
right,
me. I'll
final
open it for
two.
you.
Yeah.
Oh. Our final two, both from 2000. The first one makes me EX complete.
Oh,
Thank you,
nice.
Vinny, for hooking me up with this one. Bone Collector, Denzel and Angelina Jolie action.
Floating
Heck yeah.
heads.
All right.
Late release
Floating
floating
heads.
heads.
And the last one, hashtag late release, hashtag common.
Oh,
Got a copy of
Get him
Mystery
out
Man.
of here!
Yeah.
I still haven't seen Mystery Man. 'Cause
What?
I'm waiting for the LaserDisc to
Oh,
fall
man.
into my hands.
I saw that in the theater. I was the one person.
Yeah,
I
there you go.
was like 4 when it played in theaters.
Yeah. Same year as Phantom Menace, 99.
My dad
Yep.
wasn't taking me to Mystery Man. My dad barely saw movies.
I saw it at least twice in the theater, too. Yeah.
Which is crazy
Classic.
because my
I
dad
definitely
worked
saw
on
it.
Yep.
Hey, Max, have you watched your copy yet?
No. I've had it
Okay.
for like 3 years too. I should really watch that.
I've heard. What about you, Ryan? Have you watched it?
No, I don't get these to watch.
I hate
Posers.
I'm
you
only
all.
asking because I got
Just so
feedback
that
from somebody.
Haller can
I
look
got
at Tool.
feedback from someone else that the PQ is not actually that great for a super late release.
I mean,
There we go.
the secret's out. Like, I've got all the old widescreen reviews and all the late releases that came out. All the heaters got like 3s, for picture quality. So even
Yeah,
end of
I've got-
days. So
I've
yeah,
got
it
a
is what
couple
it
of
is.
late releases that look like trash, and it's very funny to me.
yeah.
So
So
then,
it's,
like October Sky holds up.
I'd
Yeah.
still overpay for Mystery
And-
Man though.
Let's
Yeah.
be
Simon
realistic.
Birch.
October
Yeah.
Sky is the only one that matters to Chris.
Simon
Simon
Birch.
Birch.
Simon Birch looked all right too.
Yep. Yeah, that
I
all
kid's
still
right,
great.
so that's all I can fit in this month. I'll have
All right.
some carryover into next
yeah.
month. But
Yeah, we'll
that's
let
all
it
I can
slide.
fit
Show
in.
Mystery Men one more time just because Haller doesn't have one. Can we do that?
I mean,
Just
I don't
for
have
fun.
Yeah,
one
we can do
either.
that.
I'm sure Hayden
Let's do
doesn't
that.
have one. Oh, he left.
I don't have one. I haven't seen it.
There we go.
Yeah.
Look,
There we
we're
go.
at 60% Mystery Men.
I got the DVD.
Oh my gosh.
So amongst this group, it's
That's
common,
funny.
right?
Yeah.
Amongst
Yeah.
this group, it's common.
It's half. Yeah.
It's
That's
relatively
not how that works. That's not how
It's
that
so
works.
common. You just pick it up and don't even watch it.
Just yeah.
I got it like 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I got it from Peter. I think I traded him something and then got that as the
Wow.
trade.
Yep.
I mean, about right.
I was a trader. I bought it the day it came out at like Circuit City or whatever, but on DVD because I was like,
Yeah.
LD's not as, it's
Well,
over.
LaserDisc was done in
Yeah.
1999.
I wasn't smart enough to pick up all these heaters from Ken Cranes, but yeah,
Yeah. Oh jeez.
lesson learned. Go
so
back
we
in
get
time.
time machines, Sam. We go back and we
Yeah.
get the heaters. We don't solve any of society's
No.
problems. We just
No.
buy
No.
LaserDisc.
Yeah, then we come
Yeah.
back and we're like,
I'm gonna
Maybe
put
if we
in-
bought all those heaters, we'd have even more
Yeah.
heaters afterwards.
I'm
that
gonna
we
put
would
in
not buy.
enough pre-orders to get those canceled movies
Yeah.
pressed on disc. I'll do what it takes. I'll send in
Let's
the
do-
money orders.
yeah, man, we'll get those canceled ones going through. I like it. There's a movie to be written about this.
Oh my gosh, yes.
It's like
In puppets.
like
Call Seth. Call the puppets.
puppets.
We'll use puppets for travel sequences to save on costs.
Normally we do the hot topics here, but I didn't have time to pull the hot topics. And we talked a lot about Phantom Menace, but there were a couple things that kind of randomly generated. Somebody in the chat asked, what do we think of gold rental LDs? Do we like them?
There are other copies
neat.
of the same movie.
Yeah. Yeah, they're
I
fun.
They look cool.
I think that usually they have like super lame art if they're like the Hong Kong ones.
Mm.
Like they don't really have art, but like otherwise it's
Yeah,
just
the Japanese ones.
the movie.
It's like a same.
It's cool if you're a collector of the movie, but it doesn't add anything other than it's gold.
There's
No.
no
You
special
can look at it while it's
No.
playing.
Yeah.
Unlike a jacket, like I can look at Mystery Man the whole time it's playing for Haller. Maybe I'll watch it this weekend, Haller.
The weird thing about the Japanese releases is so every one I've gotten that's a rental so far has been immaculate. So it doesn't look like any of the ones I purchased have ever been in
Rented?
kind of use. Yeah, exactly. They've never been implemented. So I don't know what's that's all about. Like, did they make them and just not use them? I don't know.
Who knows?
But
Or
they're
they're
cool.
overstock in satin boxes or something.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. There's just tons of them just sitting around unused because they're all like gorgeous and like there's usually no fingerprints on them or like compared to some of the Hong Kong ones we get that are They are
Whereas
used.
rental DVDs from America look like they've been run over and like used for target practice.
100%. Yeah. So something's up with that.
The gold discs themselves, like I was wondering too, like if some of those were just so extra that they just like Toxic Avenger just got pressed on gold disc because it was actually cheaper because there was so many gold rental discs like left over and didn't have
It would
anything
make
on
sense
yet.
for trauma.
Right.
That was
could
weird
just see
too.
that.
Because it was listed as green on LDDB for a while, so everybody was looking for the green. They're like, I got a gold one. I need the green one. It's like, no, that kind of is the green
They
one.
wished it could have been green.
Yeah.
Yeah. The best they could get was gold, and gold was probably discounted. Like
Yeah. And some of the gold ones are like yucky. Like the PDO gold doesn't look as cool as the Japanese disc gold.
Right.
Yeah, but because a lot of CD video releases are gold as well. But
yeah, oh gosh, and rotters, geez, let's not.
yeah, exactly. But I like the Japanese rentals; they're fun. Like I have all the James Bond variants that are rentals as well because
Of
gotta
course.
catch them all. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's cool. And one other thing was, we forgot to mention Phantom Menace, rotted copies. Is that a rotter? The Phantom Menace, because we
never
all have
seen one.
copies, right?
Never seen one. There's like 12 on LDB, but those are probably Americans who left them in the sun.
Yeah, I mean mine's clean, like totally.
They treated it like a rental
Special.
DVD.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, oh, well, it's Phantom Menace. It's terrible. Let's throw it in the sun.
Mine had like some slight lines on side B
Okay.
for a very
the
short
best
period.
side too.
I know.
I mean, yeah,
That
that
was
starts with the pod racing.
The
Yeah.
side break.
So, yeah, I
It was
don't-
like midway. It was not like at the beginning. It was like in a part where it was like I was looking at just backgrounds and I'm like, what's that? And that's, small amount of rot, but nothing,
right.
no one would ever care. Like,
yeah, I never saw anything on mine. Yeah, it was clean. So I don't know. So that's a non-starter. Don't worry about it. Just buy your copies of Phantom Menace online right now from Ryan.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we're not sponsored by
I don't
Ryan,
have
are we?
anything. Not yet. Should we be? I don't give you money, so no.
So anything else I missed? What's been going on in LDF? Anything anybody remembers that was exciting?
Quiet. There hasn't been much drama or anything, I don't think. Like, it's been surprisingly normal.
Yeah. Oh, what do you got?
What's the rule about running an auction in the comments?
That was weird.
There was a whole debate about that.
Because I don't even understand it.
Yeah, and I tried to clarify, like, the intent is you post a price. Like, that's period, you post a price.
Yep.
And the guy who was seemingly recently adjoined was hanging his hat on the fact that it says that you can run an auction within the comments. And that's what he was attempting to do. So I bid $1 and he just ignored me, but,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, technically, I think we had it set up so you could, but I think we just removed it because we don't want to deal with it. We're not. There's two of us paying attention, and by paying attention, there's 5 member requests I haven't gotten yet today, and Vinny hasn't either. So, I mean, we're just trying to, let people have fun and enjoy movies. But
because it got pretty hot because we're all like, you can't run auctions in here. He's like, it says I can run auctions in here, and we're like, well, yeah, that's not really the kind of goal. I don't know.
Yeah, the guy got really defensive and was saying we were being mean and whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm in other like clothing groups and like that's a frequent thing that I see in other places. Is it a successful thing that we should implement? Absolutely not.
Oh, the auctions?
Is it we have enough issues with people just posting the price after that has been implemented as a rule.
Yeah, for sure. Because before that, it was historically not a lot of the bigger sellers had prices. Kevin Koblos never had prices.
No, I never did.
Yeah.
I never did. Because it takes a long time to price things individually. Like, that sucks.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. But, it's for the good of the group. I'm going to just now do that every single time.
Yeah.
So everyone else
it's not in the rules anymore that you can run auctions.
Okay.
I honestly, when we put it in, I was just like, I don't think anybody's actually going to try because it seems like a dumb thing to do in the comments of a 15,000 person group, hoping that people see it. Like, just sell your disc for what you want or don't sell it at all, but whatever. Or, there's one.
Yeah.
So, like,
it also prevents you from, especially when you have multiple titles, like bundling a deal, right? What if somebody wants certain titles but not others, and it only works for doing like a single title?
Yeah.
You're just selling that. I guess it could work potentially.
Yeah, I mean, there's LaserDisc auction groups you can go and join too.
There are.
But, yeah.
I bought a couple from those. Yeah.
I haven't seen an auction in any of those groups in like a long time.
I mean, yeah, it's been pretty quiet. I think.
Yeah, it's been a while. There hasn't been actually anything this year. I don't think. I think
Yeah.
it like died off at the end of
I
the year
think
last year.
Whatnot killed any kind of LaserDisc
Yeah.
I mean, there you go. Just go on Whatnot.
seriously, it's really easy.
I think somebody told
Yeah.
that guy too. Just start a Whatnot show. Yeah.
I still haven't engaged with Whatnot. I'm still pure.
You should.
I
There
haven't
are
touched it.
several
Yeah.
several
Guys,
folks who've
come
got
in.
Whatnots every week.
I mean,
I'm still pure.
I
You can't
don't.
have my
I don't want to
money.
poison the well. I just like. It was just impressive when Vinny, our patron father saint, was
Yes.
just like he rolled out Whatnot awareness to all of us, and he was like, "I don't have time for anything. I watch every video on 2x speed. I will watch 8 hours of someone
Yes.
selling boxes of mystery
seriously.
stuff." I'm like,
He's on it more
really?
than I am.
Yeah, so I'm like, and so there would be like days where I would be like, I'm accomplishing so much with my life, and then I'd like check in with Vinny with, nope, just still watching videos.
I got 7 MGM late releases.
Like, yeah, the amount of time
Yeah,
I
you were
spend
the only bidder.
buying on eBay is the amount of time I want to spend buying things. I mean, granted, I'll scroll through auction listings like, not during a work day like Hayden, but
What?
yeah, not saying. But
I don't do that.
I'll spend some time. But I don't know. I don't know. It's for the kids. I'm not interested in this TikToking and the whatnotting, and but I appreciate the game. People like it.
I'm with you, Sam. It's just not something. Also, I just know that if I engaged with it, I would never come out of it.
Sure,
It's
you'd be in a Vinny
it's
hole.
fun though. I mean, I've read a bunch of shows where I would watch a movie during the show. Like, it's fun.
I mean, yeah.
I don't have money. I'm a public school teacher, Maxine.
But you can get
Work
good
at
deals on
Regal.
whatnot.
I don't work at Regal anymore. I'm just wearing the shirt because I'm on a movie
He's
podcast.
just
You're just wearing the
walking
shirt.
around. You're like an ex FBI agent, still flashing the badge. You're like,
You're
yeah.
impersonating an officer of Regal.
It happens to be hot in my house, and this is a pretty easily worn, very
I love it.
loose fitting shirt that
I
I
love
like.
it. That's really hilarious.
But yeah, after we craft on Whatnot, I should say Ryan
Yeah.
and Maxine both regularly sell on Whatnot, and seems to be good for them.
It's gonna make me break even on that Spider-Man disc by like next month.
Sweet. That's all you can ask for.
That's literally all we're doing.
Yeah.
We're just attempting to break even.
How much do you end up grabbing on Whatnot, Marcus, or do you get from other sources?
Not a lot.
Yeah.
I don't have the time to sit through the shows, honestly.
See? All right, same. Yeah.
So I can't do a real, and the times in which they're posted are typically around my time. It's like late afternoon and dinner, and that's like family time.
You're doing late afternoon and dinner. Yeah, and family. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So,
Yeah, so I typically don't jump on the shows.
Yeah.
If I see something I want, though, I will jump on. I've done that a few times.
yeah, and like Chris said, I could see if I did start watching them regularly, that could become a habit for sure. So
Listen,
Yeah.
there are days when I'm watching a study hall at school, and I will just sit on Zen Market, and I will browse everything that Yahoo Auctions has to offer. I'm looking at Yahoo Auctions right now.
hey, don't spoil it, man. We got to gatekeep this stuff. Don't let
know.
anyone know. You
I
can get the
know.
stuff.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell anybody that. The first thing I check in the morning when I wake up is Yahoo Auctions on my phone. Like, if I don't have a text message from, I check Yahoo Auctions. I want to see the last LaserDiscs that were posted overnight, and that's what I look at. I've gotten several scores for literally like $5. Buy it now by doing that because nobody else is looking.
All right.
So hopefully no one else sees
So
that.
it's a good thing you
Starts
didn't tell
doing
Now
it.
they
anybody
all
about
are.
that.
Now
Yeah.
you've won.
Yeah. Now everybody's going to start doing it.
A huge market. We've just blown everything wide out.
I just
I
check
know.
Vinny's trunk every morning because I know there's heaters in there.
Vinny's
Because
Vinny's trunk's holding the most heaters we've ever heard of. It's
Listen.
freaking out of control.
Yeah.
I got a couple of real nice discs from Vinny. I wanted to keep it curated.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll bring a couple with me next time. Like, he gave me a
Yeah.
good price on the Brazil box set.
oh, sweet.
Oh, sick. Yeah.
The Harold and Maude remastered
Spoiler alert.
widescreen disc.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Oh,
What
don't
the
worry. I have a box that just cost me $300 to FedEx.
Oh my
or to UPS
gosh.
ship.
Big spender. What are you
Wow.
doing
Yeah,
up here in one
they
Yeah,
wouldn't
you say
let
can't
me
get a
slow
$5
button it.
disc on
Man,
whatnot.
that's a 50-pound plus box. That's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, that was a bit of a mistake that I had to grapple with. This actually put a crunch on my finances for the next few weeks.
All right. Well,
Oh.
brush that
Never
out.
financially recover from this.
Oh, I will. Don't worry. I always do.
Hayden, have you engaged with Whatnot at all? Were you on the no
No.
category?
No, downloading a new app. I don't have the wherewithal
risky.
for that.
That's also kind of that entry point for me. I'm like, it's an app on my phone that I don't need and I don't want to deal with it. Yeah,
I've already got the eBay app.
yeah, same.
That's enough.
Like,
Downloading a new app just for buying things.
yeah.
I mean, Vinny really came at us like, Whatnot's cool. I'm like, is it an app? He's like, yeah. Do I have to put it on my phone? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, nope.
You
I
can
will
do
say, it
Whatnot
kind of feels like
from your
Whatnot
computer.
brought
But
me
and
back to
that's what he said. You
Yeah.
could do it on your PC. And I'm like,
It's
you know,
true.
I don't have a valid argument against this, but
No. And honestly,
I've already decided no.
exactly.
the PC version's kind of sick.
It's good? Yeah.
It's kind of better.
Nice.
Yeah.
And what do you have to tell? Like, you have to say, run it? Like, there's secret lingo? What's this all about?
Yeah,
No.
so yeah, if you want something and they're not already like starting the auction, then you
Yeah.
just say run it. Like if they were like flipping.
Oh, that
a lot
makes
of people
sense.
do.
Yeah.
A lot of people flip through stuff, and then if you see something that you want, then you either say run it or say the title or whatever,
Okay.
and then. But it's like it's like a chat based thing. It's like it's very like it's very fluid. It's very familiar. It feels like something like once you're in there, you just feel like you're watching like a live YouTube. Only
Alright.
they're telling you things, if you want, or you can just visit.
Yeah, it's like a live chat.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
hey, pro tip: don't fat finger your bids.
Yeah.
There was one time on one of Ryan's shows, somebody fat fingered a bid, and it went up to like several $100s. Like, what was that, Ryan? You remember that one guy?
I don't remember. I had to cancel
You're
it.
like, way over.
Like,
You had to cancel
dude,
it.
it was
It
like
ended up being like $600 and something, and he was like, "Yeah, no, that was a mistake."
Oof, yeah.
It was a mistake.
he tipped me like $20 after I canceled it. So like,
Oh, that was nice.
mistake. He's
You
like,
get
dude, you bailed me
tipped
out. I'm
on
like,
Whatnot?
Oh yeah, you can
Yeah,
tip
you could-
too.
yeah, you
can
could
tip your house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I just do
What?
tips on my OnlyFans, but
It's like a super chat. No, it's like a super
Okay,
chat.
yeah,
Like when you're on YouTube. That's not all that unfamiliar.
no, yeah, that's fine. There's people super chatting on ours right now. They're not. They're just watching. Hey, Spencer's in there. What's up, Spencer?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
What up, Spencer?
Yeah, cough it up,
I
Spencer.
can't do this tonight. That's crazy. Whatnot is like a foreign world that I will never venture forth through.
You are literally like young
Somebody
enough
record
to
that.
be able to do
Yeah,
This is not going to be
thinking
true
the same
forever.
thing. Yeah, Marcus has got it.
Somebody record that.
I have held fast, and people like Vinny have shown me several cool things that they have bought on Whatnot.
Sure,
Yeah.
Vinny's always at the bleeding edge. He's bringing things to us
Vinny's, yeah.
a lot. He's into all the cool new music and the cool new apps.
yeah.
And yep.
No, he's got a bookstore. He's got a movie theater. Look at Vinny.
Look at this guy. Too cool to show up in our chat tonight.
I know.
I want
Anyways,
movie
I
theater.
didn't pull any grails, so we're gonna save it for next. I'll have like a double-sized grail watch next episode. So
Ultra Grail.
Ultra
Wow.
Grail. Yeah, we'll just crush it. But anyways, let's get into physical media pickups. Well,
Okay,
move the
okay,
show
Sam,
along.
can I hijack this because I have to go? Can
Oh,
I
you
go
want to do your first?
Oh,
I
yeah.
have
Yeah,
to,
we could-
Sorry, I have a late night engagement.
Oh,
No,
Oh,
we're
It doesn't-
oh,
it's
hey, you
not
guys-
like that.
I got a
You
super
guys
chat
know
from
me.
Ryan.
It's
Oh,
not like
we're
that.
getting a super chat.
wow.
Use
Maxine,
what? Ah, now I have to
you
use
know
what?
what?
Not.
No, it's not anything that interesting.
It's
Does
the
it involve
boy.
a women's prison film by
Yeah.
any chance? Just I'm curious.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe.
All right, let's see
All
what you
right,
got.
all right. So do you want LaserDisc that I've watched or just physical media?
No, we're
pickups?
do the physical media pickups.
Okay. All right, I got a couple. I'm just gonna go through them.
Show us everything 3D immediately.
I got the 4K of Ghostbusters 2016 because it had the 3D in the disc.
Oh yeah.
All right, I'm already bored.
I bought the 4K Blu-ray of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 from Japan because it came with the 3D disc.
Oh wow.
Ooh.
Yeah, only place to get the 3D at this point for the Marvel discs is Japan. I grabbed a nice
Ooh.
4K copy of Season 2 of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, which was my
Cool.
favorite TV show of its
Grandma
past
wants
season.
to borrow it.
Yeah, give it to Grandma.
Disney started issuing some of their
Yes.
Disney Plus shows on 4K, so of course I grabbed the Andor release because it was my favorite TV show, maybe of the 2020s so far.
Wow.
Solid.
I walked through Walmart one day and I saw
Ooh.
the beautiful look of Adam Driver's mug staring straight at me at like 6 o'clock in the morning. So I had to pick up the Blu-ray only issue of Ferrari.
I need to order
Cool.
that. I need to get that.
You absolutely have to. We started watching the Predator movies, me and my friends. And
Sick.
we got to Predator 2 and they were like, these movies are not as good as we thought they were. And I was like,
Aw.
What if we watched Prey, baby? Prey was a Hulu only release. They issued it in 4K maybe last year, and by the time it showed up in the mail, they were like, "No, we're not doing more Predator movies." But I get to own Prey forever, which is a wonderful movie. And then finally, unleashed from the doldrums of a cold, dark storage basement, the 4K Blu-ray of The Abyss.
Oh, the
Finally fucking here.
internet's losing their minds over that one. Yeah.
It's got some weird over-sharpening, and it's not as grainy as people thought it was, but you know what? I'll take HD The Abyss over the Blu-ray or the LaserDisc CAV THX box set any day.
Wow.
I mean,
What can I say?
I'm with you, except I'm probably just
You're
going to watch the
gonna
CAV THX box set
Oh,
until I
All
die.
right. Yeah, Spencer's about to let loose in the chat.
Yeah,
based on what you're
let
stating.
him have
Go
it, Spencer.
Yeah.
I don't need to listen to Spencer to know that I've made up my mind on that one.
Fair-
Sorry,
oh, it's like
Spencer.
me and whatnot. All
Spencer,
right.
you know I respect your opinion immensely, and I know you know more than I do.
Yeah.
I'm going to be ignorant. I got Dune Part 2 in 4K up
Sweet.
there.
Wow. It's
Saw it
already
6
out
times
on
in
the-
theaters. Saw it in IMAX 70mm twice.
Wow.
And
I saw it
then
on-
a particular podcast that I enjoy quite a bit is doing the movies of Satoshi Kon, who's an anime director who made 4 films and then died shortly after making his last one.
Oh.
And I realized I had 3 of his 4 movies, but I did not have Tokyo Godfathers.
Great
so
film.
I picked up Tokyo Godfathers. Brilliant movie about a group of 3 homeless people who find a baby in a trash heap during a cold Tokyo Christmas season.
I keep telling Vinny he needs to watch that, even though he thinks anime is for kids. And
Yeah.
I agree.
he
Sounds
needs
like
to
a
see
good
that.
entry
I
point.
also got a couple of books. When I was at Vinny's,
Oh,
I went
alright.
to Vinny's bookstore, and Vinny cut me a good deal on some film books.
Hell yeah.
This one I picked up for Ryan.
Oh, sick.
This is an entire book. The only book I think that will ever be written that mentions Michael Dudikoff as a major star
Yeah.
He's
instead
major
of
star.
Jean-Claude Van Damme. I literally am on the page where Jean-Claude Van Damme's being introduced into Hollywood, and someone literally says, "I think we should get Michael Dudikoff. He's a real star."
Yeah.
And I laughed out loud while I was reading that.
That's awesome.
He is a star.
I picked up Black
Oh,
Caesars
yeah.
and Foxy Cleopatras.
Yeah.
Odie Henderson used to write for Roger Ebert's website.
Awesomeness.
And I haven't followed him since he went to, I think, the Boston Globe. But I loved his written work beforehand. He used to have a really great Twitter presence before he left Twitter. So I had to grab his book. And this is a signed copy that's sliding right out of the dust sleeve.
Sweet. With a little word sticker of authenticity.
Yeah.
And then finally,
Ooh.
Vinny insisted that I take a copy of the Siskel and Ebert book with me. And I have not started it yet, but I understand these guys had such a major impact
Yes.
on how people talk about movies and think about movies during, especially in America during the 80s and 90s. So I'm looking forward to getting to that eventually.
For sure. Spencer
So
didn't kill you
that's-
too much in the chat. He said at least The Abyss is the only one which was at least a 4K scan and was hit with the least amount of Cameron crazy. That's his
I will
quote.
say I have the Aliens disc too. I just didn't want to bring 2 of them.
Oh, fair enough.
And I liked Aliens quite a bit in 4K.
Okay. Now he's going to kill you.
Yeah.
That's fine. I can handle Spencer. We'll go toe to toe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cue the
and
Duel of
since
the
I
Fates soundtrack.
I have to leave. If I can recommend anything, go out to your local movie theater and see Furiosa this weekend.
Yeah.
It
I'll do
is
that.
slated to underperform pretty massively. I looked at the admissions at the theater that I work at, and Furiosa was being beaten by Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes in its 3rd weekend in terms of admissions here in Rochester.
There's like a weird,
I don't know,
anti-flash mob. There's like a,
Listen, if you've got time and you know you want to see it, don't wait for it to hit streaming. Go see Furiosa in theaters, because it may be the last big budget movie George Miller ever gets to direct, and it's tremendous.
For sure.
Anyways, I have to head out. Enjoy the rest of the podcast, guys. I will talk to you guys later.
Yeah, have fun. He's
Will
going to
do.
Regal right now to like hang outside the parking
Yeah,
lot
he
and
is.
pretend to be a manager.
Yeah, he
I'm gonna
is.
watch Phantom Menace again.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. About to drink
I'll
a
never
Four
tell.
Loko
Yeah.
and
I'll keep it a
Festival
mystery.
outside of Regal right now.
I'll keep it a mystery. You can all speculate after I'm gone, and you'll
No.
all be fucking wrong. Good night, guys. It was a
Have a
pleasure
good
as
one.
always.
All right, so I guess I'll jump in. I don't have too many things. Grabbed a couple records and things like that. Not too many. I was at the archive, and my wife caught a copy of Stevie Nicks' Trouble in Shangri-La that got released. I think there was a box set recently, but this is like another, I think this is a new press that just came out. So I grabbed that for her.
Oh.
And Luke sent me, he found one of those kind of generic Bond ripoff kind of things. It's not John Barry Orchestra. It's who's doing this thing? The Roland Shaw Orchestra. But I love all these kind of knockoff Bond compilations. Cool artwork and
Super cool.
Yeah, fun stuff.
Wow, double-sided. Cool.
And my metal club came with the new High on Fire record, which is fantastic. Recommend this if you're into the metal. So grab that. Only grabbed a couple Blu-rays at the archive. Finally grabbed Devonsville Terror. Great Uwe Lommel film. Big fan of that. It's got the slip, so it's extra.
Cool.
Extra resolution. And my wife caught a little A24 in the corner of her eye, so we grabbed Lamb. This is pretty nice packaging for this too. I don't even know how this opens, but I think it's like a digi. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's got the creepy eye there. Yeah, really nice packaging. It's the 4K version because A24 is cheap. They don't give you like the 4K and the Blu-ray. Yeah, if it's prestige, you can't put 2 discs in. It's just impossible. Yeah, we got to charge you twice as much for just one. So, grab that. And a book. I been meaning to grab this for a while, and it was on sale. Love the packaging. It's got the kind of super bright edging. It's got the ribbon, so I can see my place. But it's all about David Lynch's Dune, like a huge book, all about the making of Dune. Hayden, do you have this?
I do not. I didn't know that existed.
That's
There's
cool.
another David Lynch like Dune book that was out fairly recently, which I need to get. But this one I think just came out last year, and the eye is like spot gloss too, so it's pretty cool.
Nice.
I might have to pick that up. I love David Lynch's Dune.
Yeah, and it's just really some people were slagging it for being a little too dry because it's a lot of just interviews with the people that were there making it. But I'm like, yeah, give me 600 pages of interviews of the people making it. Like I don't need you to put your zazzy spin on it. So I'm looking forward to this. I'm actually rereading Frank Herbert's Dune right now because it's been a while since I've ever that, probably a couple decades. So I figure I'm going to reread that, do it with like a Denis Villeneuve like marathon. I'll watch David Lynch's Dune again. I'll read this. It's going to be a Dune summer. It's like,
And then watch the TV cut by Alex Smithy.
I mean, yeah, I got multiple copies of it. I might as well. So yeah, it's not going to be like Hot Boy Summer. It's going to be like Dune, Fremen, Dune, Dude Summer. So
Yeah.
enjoy.
Hell yeah.
And that's about it. What do you got, Ryan?
I got a couple things, not that much. Let's see here. First and foremost, I did complete my Vinegar Syndrome catalog of film. I recently got the DVD. Here's the 2 catalogs.
Oh, cool.
Ooh.
So somebody had them on a listing, and I made an offer, and they took it. And I'm like, heck yeah! So it's just all like the early stuff that they released. They were doing booklets for a while.
You gonna circle every one you have?
I opened it to a horribly inappropriate photo.
Oh, you
so
did you just
great
boob
job.
flash? Yeah.
Oh my god.
Probably. Moving on, I picked up one non-Vinegar Syndrome release. This is the Killer Clowns
What?
steelbook. So okay,
Sick.
Nice.
all of the resolution of the clowns.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then
Ooh.
moving on, I got some Vinegar Syndrome. We've got
Yes.
Lady Reporter.
Which we worked on.
Yes, we did.
Yes.
Really cool.
Awesomeness.
The House Where Death Lives.
Sweet.
Oh.
No clue about this one, but the back looks awesome. Like that's a great looking back. And then also goes by Delusion.
Oh yes, I've seen that art.
Delusion.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's on laser.
Got the Sweet Witch Story, which
Ooh.
is the slide out case.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, great slide out. And then the back is like very unassuming here. So
Ooh. Great
and
art.
then another one that we worked on, or you worked
Yes.
on.
Yes.
Thanks to Ryan's LaserDisc.
Yep. This is Touch. So I'm really looking forward to this. Christopher Walken, Skeet Ulrich.
Yes.
That ought to be really good. That's their like new cinematograph or
Yeah, that's a serious package. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I showed off the
Red Rock West was another one.
Red Rock, yeah, which was really great. So I'm looking forward to it because I have not seen that movie, even though I have the LaserDisc. So.
What? You just owned it and didn't watch it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I do. All right, so I mean, I do watch movies, just not that fan. Record Store Day happened since the last show, so
Yes.
we got a couple of pickups. We got the At the Drive-In reissue of In Casino Out.
Sweet.
Cool.
Did not have that. Pauly Shore and the Crusties.
Oh my gosh.
I couldn't not get this. I mean, it's got you know, all of the good songs like you know,
Lisa.
No. It's cover songs. So like
okay.
Whole Lot of Love, Rocket Man,
Amazing.
Learn to Fly. Yeah, so
I wonder if it's
Wow.
better
it's
than
gonna be.
William Hung's version of Rocket Man.
I mean, probably.
Can anything be?
I mean, maybe.
Picked up Dosage from Collective Soul.
Oh,
This
wow.
was like the 25th anniversary edition, first time on vinyl, which surprisingly this didn't have a vinyl release, which the artwork you can tell they just like blew up the CD.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
really,
I see
really,
that a
really
lot.
pixelated looking. So Tinted Windows. This is Bunny Carlos and Hanson and the guy from Fountains of Wayne, Adam Schlesinger.
Whoa.
So they did like a power pop rock album in 2009, and they got a vinyl release this year, which is really cool.
Good.
And then a couple bigger hitters from Record Store Day. The Spawn album,
Yeah,
which
baby.
smokes.
Whoa.
This is 4 sides. It's lots of new metal and such.
Cool.
And then the real reason I needed to go out on Record Store Day, the
Yes.
South Park Live, which is fantastic. It's 3 records worth of jams.
I watched the video. It was great.
Oh yeah, the video was great, and I'm like, I have to get this soundtrack.
Yeah.
And then I did get one single 7-inch, which I'm never a big fan, but I get them when they're kind of cool, and it's the GBI 7-inch.
Oh,
which is
yeah.
Grohl, Ian, and Benante.
Yep.
So they like did like, what is it, 2 songs maybe? I
Yeah,
don't
like
even know.
Anthrax was recording at like Grohl Studio, or they were at the same studio at the same time. They're like, let's do a punk thing together.
Yeah. So it's like, all right, I'll give it a shot.
Yep.
I enjoy that kind of stuff. And then I picked up some other things from a garage, because that's where you get the
Oh,
good
yeah,
stuff.
your special garage place.
Yeah, so I picked up Killer Dwarfs.
Oh, man.
Oh my gosh, that's so sick.
Yeah, and apparently this one is a promo copy.
Promo,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
You know. My one local store that's pretty solid. Or no, this wasn't from there. It was from the
Ooh.
garage too. This is Kraftwerk.
Oh,
You might have heard of them.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah.
yes. Great record. Great record.
Some Psych. This is Grootna.
Ooh.
Yeah, I saw the front. I'm like, this looks cool. And then I saw the back. I'm like, this has got to be good. Like,
Oh, yeah.
if this is what your album looks like, you're on something good.
I
Hell
am
yeah.
Grootna.
Yeah.
And then I had a repress, but I finally found an original of Gun.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
This album smokes. This is who's on this band? Adrian Curtis.
Damn, look at those hairstyles.
Oh
So
yeah.
sick.
No, but this album is really, really good.
With hair
And
like
then I-
that, they better smoke guitar.
Oh yeah. And then I picked up a Weezer EP. Technically, it's the autumn season. So I don't know.
Huh.
Figured I'd give it a shot. Sometimes their stuff's good. Sometimes it's really, really not. So we'll see.
All
Yeah.
right. Hayden, wipe your face. You got any, did we do
Yeah.
you already? Nah, you need some
No,
pickups.
not yet.
Yep.
Yeah, I got a couple things. Finally picked up Fargo. I still have not seen it.
Oh, sweet.
The
What?
store had it, so picked it up.
You know it's on.
You're in
LaserDisc,
for a
right?
treat.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
It is on LaserDisc, but is it the? Well, I guess we know now we can't trust the rot reports, but the
It's
US
pretty bad.
release-
I've gone through multiple
Yeah, it's
routers. Yeah, get the
I
Japanese.
was planning to pick up the Japanese one at some point, but then that was like $4 at a
And-
store I was
and there,
at. So
yeah.
yeah.
What are you gonna do?
So I also got Evangelion
Ooh.
3.0 plus 1.11. This is the
Whoa.
4th and final film in the Evangelion sequel series. Only saw this when it came out. It came out on streaming, and we had to like hook up my computer to like 720p TV that we had at the time to watch it. So eager to get around to watching it in like good quality.
Sweet.
Picked up Seven Samurai Criterion Blu-ray.
Nice.
Oh.
Still need to get around to watching this. This is one that I just have to find the time because of how long it is.
Super long.
But
Yeah.
very excited to get around to that. This is my first Eureka Master Cinema Blu-ray, but on the Silver Dome, or I'm
Ooh.
sorry, on the Silver Globe. This is an insane. This is also long, but this is like unfinished, and the way they kind of patch together the missing parts of it is really, really cool. It's a really, you feel it's a movie that takes place over like several decades. You feel like you're old by the time it finishes. It's crazy.
Sweet.
And then I picked up This Is Not a Burial, It's a Resurrection.
Mm.
This is one of the most powerful movies I've seen in a long time.
Whoa.
Probably my whole life. It's also actually open, man. Filmgate
Whoa.
is visible the whole time. So
Like actual true. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an actual, you see the entire, and this is some of the best cinematography. This is one of the best looking movies, most beautiful movies I've seen. Yeah. It's very depressing, very sad, very enraging, but very good.
All right.
Then I picked up some CDs.
CDs nuts. Sorry.
This is the album Golem by Sand.
That's not a CD.
Obscure.
That's a book.
It is a CD. It's in a awesome digipack that the seller did not package very well, so the plastic tray has a big crack running down the middle of it, so that's cool.
Yep.
But, what are you going to do? Outside looks nice, though.
Great. Yeah, great packaging.
And then I picked up Alpha Taurus, their debut self-titled album. This is kind of like Tarkus, but, not. It's a little different. It's pretty cool, though.
Centric.
And then I don't know, I'm not even going to try to pronounce the Italian title to this album, but this is by the band Area. They're an Italian prog rock band. Very crazy stuff. I don't know if any of you are familiar with the vocals of Leon Thomas.
No.
This is like him, but on Italian crack. It's cool.
Well, I mean, it's
very wacky and out there.
Great, anyways. Can't go wrong with Italian prog.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it for me.
Nice pickups. Maxine, what do you got?
I
Anything?
have only LaserDiscs.
That's cool. Yeah. We'll go to Marcus.
I showed my book too early.
Oh, yeah. You should have held out on that. Marcus, you got any Blu-rays or anything?
Yeah, I'm going to start with hardware.
We didn't bully you into getting a turntable yet, did we?
No.
Oh,
I skipped the turntable and went straight to a 9-inch CRT.
That's sweet.
So this little guy, I've been using to test LaserDiscs as they arrive. So it's awesome. I don't have to fire up
That's cool.
my whole system to do that. So
I could use that today to check those LDG subtitles on Phantom Menace.
Gosh, I know.
And don't tell Haller, but LD looks pretty good on it. So
yeah, I won't tell.
all right, I do have some DVD and 4Ks. I don't think I have any Blu-ray in there, but DVDs and 4Ks. So first one, Jurassic Park DTS. So this is the same, almost the same as the LaserDisc mix, but they took the surrounds, which were hot, and they corrected them to be the proper level, and they left the hot LFE track.
Oh, okay.
Because everybody loved the hot LFE track because it showed off their system so good.
For sure.
So I found this one locally. I got some 4Ks. I've got Black Hawk Down.
I haven't seen that in a while.
4K.
I should revisit that.
I haven't either. It's been a long time. Mad Max.
Yeah.
Fury Road. I just watched this last night. It was awesome.
So good.
Loved it. Let's see. What else? Also got. I also have The Abyss.
Nice.
It's the only one of the Camerons that I picked up on the recent ones, which is supposedly is the best. So we'll see. We shall see. I picked up Pitch Black.
No,
4K.
nice. Arrow release, yeah.
Yeah, it's an Arrow release. There's another one. I don't remember who put it out, but it supposedly has better sound than this one does. But it doesn't have the extended cut, so you kind of need
I'd like to
both.
see that.
So,
I only saw theatrical, so that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Isn't it on a LaserDisc?
Yeah, Moikey got a test pressing that his parents found at a thrift store. Is the story. Yeah. We're sticking to it.
Yep.
All right.
Oh,
next
sick one.
up, lenticular cover. I'm sure you can see that.
Wow.
Yeah. So supposedly, I haven't opened it yet. Supposedly, this looks incredible in 4K.
Yeah, I've got that. It's
So
badass.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm curious if they're going to do anything for the 50th anniversary, which I think is next. Is it next year?
Was it 70? Yeah, that should be next year.
Yeah, next year.
They'll pull something out.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Release Cruel Jaws with it.
Cruel Jaws, yeah.
I also picked up Andor.
Sweet.
Nice.
And I also picked up Kenobi.
That was underrated. I
Steelbook.
like that a lot.
It was good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was solid. But anything Star Wars that's coming out, I'm generally going to get it. I picked up another one of those Mondo Steelbooks,
Ooh.
Guardians of the Galaxy. This is the first one.
Cool.
Walmart. It's now a Walmart exclusive, but it was only UK.
Cool, like silver
Previously.
foil.
Yeah, it's got a. I should show it off better. It's got a
Oh, snap.
cover there. Yeah.
That's
Oh, holographic slip? What? That's sick.
Yeah. So
that's
it's pretty
nice.
sick. Nice release.
Super cool.
Yeah, I'm not a huge Marvel person, but it was cool packaging, so I picked it up. Also picked up Doom Part 2.
different
got
one.
Steelbook.
Steelbook. Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, I pre-ordered this the moment that it came out. This is really hard to get at this point.
It is
All
funny
right,
how
speaking
that's
of hard
happening
to-
now. Yeah, new releases are like
Yeah.
instantly hot now. It's funny.
It's incredible. You kind of have to just pre-order it, because you're not sure if it's going to sell out or not.
Yeah.
Right.
Hope for the best.
And it's also wild that these pre-orders are coming out like as the films are being released into theaters.
Yeah.
Like Mad Max Furiosa, the pre-order went live today,
Yeah.
and it's like just.
I don't
it was
even know
just
if I like it
released.
yet. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of hard to find steelbooks, so in the 4K community,
Ooh.
this one is like incredibly difficult to find at this point. It's quite expensive. I had this one shipped from halfway around the world
Oof.
because the prices that they're asking for in the US are ridiculous, and this is the US release.
I just got the standard
I-
with the slip, obviously. Yeah.
Well, I have that one too. And so this is the one.
course,
This is
yeah.
the one I watch. Yeah, this is the one
Yeah.
I watch. This one, I don't usually keep stuff sealed, but it's got this Best Buy sticker on it.
Yeah.
Best Buy
Yeah.
doesn't sell physical media anymore.
Shelf queen.
So
It's the same stuff,
this is
right?
a shelf queen.
Yeah.
This is definitely a shelf queen.
That's a
And
good
my
show off
last
disc,
one-
man. The sound on that thing is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my last one is
Ooh.
Shin Godzilla.
Cool.
So this one has gotten expensive because everybody's waiting for Godzilla -1 to drop.
Ah, yeah.
And I had not yet picked it up, and I wanted it with the slip. So I got the version with the slip. And if you know this release, the version with the slip has a black case.
Yes.
There's also a separate release that was released without a slip, but a clear case.
Hmm.
So I ordered a clear case to put under here. And there's a reason why you'd want to do that. And I'll show you. It's because there is art on the inside.
Oh, sick.
On the inside
have the
cover.
copy.
So
I have the copy with the black case, so I have that artwork flipped around so that it actually
Yeah, right.
faces. Because it's like with the black case, you wouldn't know. You have to check to
exactly.
know that there's artwork.
That's cool.
Exactly. So if you need a clear case, I bought a pack of 2. So if you need one, I got
Really?
you.
I already have 2 copies, one from the U.S. and one from Hong Kong that came out a few months before the U.S. release.
Yeah, that
Nice.
old gambit. Yep. I've done that before.
I wish the 4K came with subtitles, but you can only
Yeah.
get it in with just Japanese, no subtitles.
I've seen
I
it
would love-
like 3 dozen times now.
Yeah, so you're good.
Once I upgrade to 4K, I'll be picking it up.
Okay. Yeah, you can find it for fairly cheap
Mhm.
over in Japan. It's not
And it
that
comes with
expensive.
like two Blu-rays full of extras.
Oh,
So,
sick.
Yeah.
So,
So I
time to
think
learn
that's
Japanese.
it. That's it for me for non-LaserDisc pickups.
That's
Those
pretty
are the
good.
ones I grabbed. Yeah.
All right. We're getting close to the finish line. It's about time to do some recommendations. It's time to. I got a couple. I'll do a double whammy. I freaking loved John Mulaney's live series he did on Netflix called Everybody's in LA. It was to time in with the Netflix is a Joke Festival where everybody was just traveling there anyways. 6 episodes live. It ended whenever he felt like ending it. So sometimes it was an hour, sometimes it was an hour and 20. He just really got into LA topics, like coyotes, earthquakes, supernatural stuff, the future, all fun thing, palm trees. That one was really interesting. But a mix of
I could riff on palm trees. I could definitely riff on palm trees.
yeah, Richard Kind was his host. He was hilarious. The Samo robot was kind of like the de facto, like kind of third host. But he had David Letterman on, Jerry Seinfeld, John Carpenter. Good mix of people, and yeah, it was good. It reminded me of like classic seminal talk shows, and hopefully he'll do it again next year. So, but even though it was live, you could still watch the replays on Netflix. And the other thing I'll recommend is Star Wars centric. I'd never seen the Vice documentary that Nacelle team put together called Icons Unearthed. It recently came out on Blu-ray, and it's streaming, I believe, on Amazon Prime as well. But it's 6 episodes. I think it's 6 episodes. Deep dive into the creation of the original Lucas Star Wars films. Of course, Lucas isn't involved in it, and Kathleen Kennedy isn't involved in it, so it's unofficial. So people kind of slag it for being too negative, but it's really just people being honest, which is pretty cool. And it's got tons of interviews with Marsha Lucas, who edited and won an Academy Award, co-edited for Star Wars, and it really gets into the whole kind of idea of her and Lucas's producers being the people that helped kind of steer his ship into making good decisions. And that's why the original trilogy was so good. And then when he started to try on himself with yes men, like Rick McCallum, it didn't go over so well for the prequels. And even as the gentleman who ended up writing, I think, Attack of the Clones, or co-wrote that, and even he was like, a little bit. So if you want to see more like lavish praise heaped upon the prequels, then you might be disappointed. But I thought it was pretty fascinating. You heard some different stories for once. Billy D. Williams is in it. Anthony Daniels. They didn't get a lot of the cast involved, but the cast members they did have were great and had some interesting things to say. So, Icons Unearthed, Star Wars. Check it out.
Ooh.
Ryan, what do you got?
I haven't watched like anything new. Like I was looking to see like what I'd watched. And I'm like, not much new. I did see Abigail in the theaters. And
how was that?
It was stupid and fun.
All right.
So, like, if you want to just like check out and watch dumb horror that's kind of not really predictable per se, but you can kind of tell where it's going to go. It's fun. And they pulled it off. It was you're like, how's this going to work? And for it being a vampire ballerina kid, it worked out pretty well. I enjoyed it.
That counts.
More than I thought I would.
That's a recommendation.
Yeah. I did finally see the new Ghostbusters.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't bad.
I haven't seen the previous one or the new one.
It was fine. I mean, they're not great by any means, but they're not terrible. They're enjoyable, and I think that's the key.
It's got some original cast in it, right?
Yeah, it's got all of the original cast besides Rick Moranis didn't show up.
Yep.
I get it. He doesn't want to do anything. They tried. I guess they were willing to back up the truck. And then I did watch a classic that I should just shout out because I watched it, and that's The Goods.
Oh, yeah.
Sell Hard, the greatest movie about selling cars. So if you have not seen it yet, you need to see it because it's fantastic.
My parents even like that. So that's saying something.
It's so dumb, but it's so good.
It's right there in the title.
Yep.
Hayden, you got any recommendations for current media?
Sure.
Or just old stuff?
We went and saw Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes a couple weeks ago. Definitely recommend that. It was a good time. Maybe not as good as Dawn or War of Planet of the Apes, but it was still pretty good. And then we have been watching on HBO Max the second season of Smiling Friends, which is very much my sense of humor. It's very funny. They've been releasing it one episode at a time.
Okay, yeah.
To let hype build up in between.
Good for them.
Which is good because all the episodes they're only 11 minutes long, but they have a lot of stuff just jammed in the background. Lots of little things to dig into. A lot of funny stuff going on. So if you like good Adult Swim humor, then definitely check it out.
Oh, okay, good to know.
All right, Maxine, you got any recommendations?
Okay, so I haven't watched anything like new, but like it's new for the era of time that I normally watch, which is LaserDisc era. So
that works for me.
I watched all 3 seasons of Rock of Love. We watched all of Bret Michaels' Rock of Love, all 3 seasons, and season 3 takes place on a tour bus.
On the bus, yeah.
On the tour bus, it's Bus of Love.
Yep.
That show is a show.
It changed your life, right?
It's a show. It is a show. And I will simultaneously shout out the other thing I've been watching is another YouTube channel called Back to the Sofa. They're still a smaller YouTube channel, but they will watch like that type of thing they were watching Rock of Love, and I was like, damn, I gotta watch Rock of Love.
So now you've seen it twice, essentially.
Oh, well, they're watching other stuff too in between.
Okay,
so
yeah.
they haven't gotten through all of it yet. I blasted through all of it
Yep.
because it's crazy. That show's ridiculous. The first season is like prime reality TV stuff.
Have you seen Flavor of Love?
Back in the day, I watched all of that.
Oh, okay. All right. So you're
Fan
already
of
primed
Neil,
already. Yeah.
Big fan of Pumpkin.
Yeah. Yeah.
The iconic moments. Yeah.
Yes,
I watched all of this in the day, and like to revisit it now, I mean, the fact that this television show was made is absolutely miraculous.
It's impressive.
It would never get made today.
Yeah.
Never. I mean, the confessional moments that like even just Brett is saying, the stuff that he's saying is perfectly acceptable for the day.
Not so much now, yeah.
Like it's a wild show. There are just, I mean, there is a lot of unclothed women.
Okay.
We'll go there.
Is it like unrated on whatever you were watching, or?
I mean, I was watching it on, I believe it was the freebie from Amazon.
Oh, okay. Yep.
I watched it there, and I didn't see any censoring
Wow,
other
okay.
than in the flashback scenes when they were within the show flashing back to the nudity. Then
Yeah.
they would censor it there, but in the actual like in the moment episode, it was not censored.
Yeah. What was it under? Was it MTV or VH1 Classic?
It
or
was on VH1. It was on
Okay.
VH1.
Prime?
Yeah, Rock of Love, and then there was like a spin-off. There was Daisy of Love, which was one of the contestants on it,
Wow.
and that apparently is like a harder to find show.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, it was bad. The Back to the Sofa people watched the first episode of that. I mean, pretty cringe.
That's a good double recommendation.
Yeah, but yeah, that's definitely I don't know. I mean, if you're just like missing that just like affliction shirt 2000
The affliction shirt bros.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like if you want to smell Old Spice from 2004 and you want to
Sweet.
like experience that feeling, it's a good time. Real good time.
All right. Good. Marcus, how are you going to top that?
I'm not. There's no way I'm going to top that. And what I'm going to recommend is like on the complete opposite spectrum
All right.
from what Max just.
We're going highbrow now. Yeah.
No. It's so let's see. The only thing I've seen in the theater recently was Dune 2, and I think I'd seen it just before the last podcast.
Yeah, I think so.
And I recommended it. I saw it in IMAX 70 millimeter. So nothing in the theater to recommend. But streaming wise, we have been watching Bridgerton.
Oh, yes.
Now, let me preface this by saying my wife, she loves Bridgerton. Me, previously, not so much at all. I did not watch the first 2 seasons with her.
Yeah.
And since the first season came out, we've upgraded to a 4K OLED. And then I recently got my wife a sound bar for the living room setup because that's not my area. That's more so the family's area. And so she started revisiting it with the new TV and then it's Dolby Atmos, which is crazy to even think. Why does Bridgerton have Dolby Atmos track? But
it's right over my head.
But when you
man.
watch it it's actually very enveloping. Like there's sounds everywhere. There's birds and there's the horse carriage going down the road. You hear every click clack of the horses. I mean, it's very awesome, the soundtrack, right? So I watched it primarily for that kind of thing, right?
That's the gateway. Yep.
That's the gateway.
Yeah.
And the story is actually pretty good.
Pretty compelling.
There
Yeah.
are some parts that are very slow, or I'm like, all right, they need to pick up the pace here. An interesting thing is the things that I pick out in some of the scenes as to where the story is headed. Like I'll notice something, wife totally went over my wife's head, or she just didn't even notice it the first time.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, no, this means that
This
a
is where
couple
that's
episodes
going.
from now,
Yeah.
this is what's going to happen, right? So we've had a lot of fun. Season 3 just dropped. I think there's 4 episodes, and there still should be another 4 that are going to come out next month.
Is that Netflix?
So it's on Netflix. Yeah.
Yep. That's what I thought.
Recommend Bridgerton. All the dudes watch it with your significant other. It's a good deal.
I mean, that's one good thing about gear. Like I can watch stuff on my HD TV with some surround sound and be like, it's not something I'd normally be interested in, but I'm like, this looks pretty, sounds great. And you're kind of sucked in before you know it.
Yeah.
I'm so all in on the OLED. It's just like life changing to me. Like it's so exactly the crispiness that I was missing from my long lost plasma. It's
Makes
love it.
Rock of Love look Next level.
Honestly, it really took the quality level up on Rock of Love. Like,
Brett
it
looks.
was like-
Yeah, you're seeing things you probably couldn't
I'm
before,
like,
right? Yeah.
it's looking good.
Oh man! All right, so I guess we're down to the last thing. Final thoughts and what's spinning next. I'm gonna be probably watching. I don't know what. I've been really just kind of scatterbrained all over the place. I might watch some more James Bond stuff, just because I was in the zone. I'm still going through some anime boxes, and I've been watching Captain Harlock lately, so I'll probably end up keep plugging away at that. But I don't know. I watched Venus Wars the other week. I hadn't seen that in a dog's age, so I'm kind of trying to go back to some of my older anime movies. So I might watch like Harlock, My Youth in Arcadia, or Arcadia, My Youth, depending on what it says on your disc. That might be up next too. What about you, Ryan?
I think I'm gonna watch Touch.
Yeah, let me
Yeah.
know what you think of that.
Yeah, I mean, I should like it. Maybe. Who
I mean,
knows?
I had to watch your LD a ton of times, so it's good. It's weird though. It's
Did
not what
you stack the conversion?
I should have stacked it. I should have gotten 3 more copies and stacked it. I thought that was like a Blink kind of movie when I saw the ads for it. Like I thought, oh, it's gonna be like someone's got somebody's like hand or whatever, and like the spirit of the dead person's possessed. No, it's like a kind of weird, quirky comedy with some drama in it about a guy who's like possibly touched and he can cause miracles. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And a
That's-
Dave Grohl soundtrack.
Dave Grohl did the soundtrack, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Because
How
it's
does
like,
this not have like a vinyl release or something?
right? Yeah. Apparently it's out there on what, CD? And like
Yeah.
still that's pretty obscure.
Unobtainium CD. Like,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
overpriced, yeah.
Like the opening credits already is like, you're like, this sounds cool. And like, oh yeah, of course, it's Dave Grohl. So enjoy.
Man, that's super cool.
What's Hayden gonna watch next?
Hayden's gonna try to figure out what to watch out of the stuff he's gotten recently, and then if he can't make up his mind, he'll throw on a Godzilla LaserDisc. Just whichever one he's watched the least recently, that's the one he'll put on.
Just I was almost about to pop on the Toho SFX box set the other night because that is just like so great for just let it rip and just watch scenes from Toho movies. So I like to do that when it's like late and I don't want to make any decisions.
Yeah.
Maxine, what's up next for you?
Well, I just snuck this in while I was watching.
I heard you were
The-
going to watch that. Nice.
Yes. So when I watched the Phantom Menace, I watched side A and B, and then was instructed that we must now watch this movie incomplete before we finish Phantom Menace, and that was the rule. There was no.
I mean, that's
this
what everybody does,
must.
right?
This is a must.
Yeah, that's what I did.
And the strange crossovers that I started to feel after like watching that environment and then watching this environment, this was like a whole different experience doing that for like no apparent reason. But
Gene Simmons,
loved
baby.
this. Loved this, and Gene Simmons is in it,
Yep.
which is why I had Gene Simmons on the brain with Star Wars again. So
Nice. So did you finish it already, or
I finished it.
okay?
I wanted to talk about it because it has to do with fandom.
Well, yeah, it's great.
But
That's
now
a good
I'm gonna watch
pressing too.
I'm gonna watch Mystery Man because I haven't seen it.
Random flex. Ryan's got it at hand. Yeah. Good times. Marcus, what do you got tapped up?
All right. So it's given that tomorrow's Star Wars Day, and I have
Real
my
Star
neighbor
Wars
coming
Day.
back over. Yeah.
Sick.
Got my neighbor coming back over to watch the first film. I believe that's what we're going to do.
Yep.
So I'm either going to watch the JSC or the Technodisc.
Yeah.
I haven't decided. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to A-B them in the morning, which I've actually never A-B'd them before.
Yeah.
And whichever one I think looks, better, then that's the one I'll go with.
It's funny.
So,
I was talking to
actually-
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Hayden was kind of busting my chops because I actually threw on the definitive collection, like the Mitsubishi Press 93 American release the other night. I was like, man, that projects really well because there's so much talk about the DNR and the four-eyed stormtroopers and all that stuff. But I'm like, putting on the wall on the projector, it looks pretty damn good. So I was like, I need to go back and watch the definitive collection on my projector from the start. So. And then Hayden's like, but you told me to get the Japanese special collection on your video. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, you put up a video talking about how surprisingly good one of them was, and
Yeah.
that means we're supposed to buy all of them, right?
Exactly. Sponsored by the Japanese special collection. So yeah, Spencer says do the battle it out, check out the Technodisc and see which one wins. But yeah, we'll report back next. I'll write this down.
Back. Yeah.
Let's see what won. So that's cool. Any other Star Wars adventures going on this weekend? Anybody doing cosplay or? Yeah.
Damn. Well, it's Memorial Day, so I didn't realize.
No, but I have this that I wanted to show. I wanted to show this earlier.
Hell yeah!
And I forgot to. This is a Tatooine globe that opens.
What?
Whoa!
Oh yeah,
Mega
bring that
flag.
back out, Ryan.
What?
I was waiting for us to get to this scene, pull it out, and then we didn't talk about that scene, and I completely forgot that it's been sitting there the whole time.
Oh my gosh.
Man,
really, Ryan's poster is so sick.
I went to the Brimfield Flea Market and we were just talking about Phantom Menace. So I took photos of every Phantom Menace action figure I found and sent it to the chat, like just to annoy everybody. There was quite a few.
I'm gonna scroll back for those.
There was Darth Maul. There was a Jar Jar. There was like a 2-pack, I think, with Darth Maul and Jar Jar. So yeah,
of course.
Good stuff.
Well, those are the
I have a Darth Maul somewhere, but I didn't feel like digging him out for the show.
Yeah, what was the deal with the chips? Like the Tech-Com chips? Like, did you like put them in and they made noise?
There was like a little reader,
yeah,
and it would play the like sound bites.
Oh,
it was
sick. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't have the reader. I never knew what they did as a kid.
Yeah.
I got rid of like all of mine.
I did. My grandmother was still like, you like Star Wars? Because when I was 8, I would always ask for Star Wars stuff for Christmas, and so that just never stopped for her. So any Star Wars stuff she saw at CVS was
you are Star Wars.
Yeah,
now.
I am Star Wars. Yeah, exactly. So that was coming home to me. So I'm like, I didn't even like this movie, Grandma. And she's like, too bad, Jar Jar. I'm like, all right, I guess I'm rolling with it.
Bringing you Jar Jar.
Yeah, Comtech. That's it. Thank you, Spencer. I knew you'd help me out there.
Oh my god.
He says they were the best when they worked.
I have never heard of that. I don't even understand what this is. What is this?
Yeah, it was like they used to like earlier figures. They would put coins. They just like to put extra fun collectible things with the figures. So they would have like little collectible coins. But then they're like, let's up our game and have like little computer chip kind of like a SD card, basically, right? Kind of thing. And you plugged it into something.
Yeah, it was like a little clear base that had like the character's photo on it, and then it had like a visible circuit board. And I guess there was a scanner you could get that would scan them, and it would have like a sound bite. I never had the scanner, so I didn't know what they actually were supposed to do.
Spencer still has his.
Austin Powers action figures came with like a little stand that had a photo, and you pushed a button, and there would be a sound bite.
Yeah.
I had like the one that was Seth Green. Actually, Seth Green's right here. But I had his one that was where he would talk and you say like, "Get away from me, you lazy-eyed psycho!" And like it would just say, "That's all it would say." It didn't say anything else.
Man, they should have put him in Phantom Menace, like as
Honestly,
Scott Evil.
I really want to see some of the AI stuff that people have generated. Please do some face swapping because I want to see some other actors that of the time that could have been.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't even get into like all the casting stuff. Like apparently Michael Jackson wanted to play Jar Jar really badly, and it didn't happen.
This should have happened.
I know, right?
He would have
been better. He would have been better.
I mean, poor Ahmed Best though. He got put through the ringer, man. He like there's that video where he thought about committing suicide, and
oh jeez.
Yeah, and he's
I feel sorry for him.
I know, and he's like, well, people say like you hate on Jar Jar, not on me. He's like, yeah, but like I don't know, we're inseparable, so it's like it's still hate on me. Even if you try and like mentally,
I don't get that either because it's like, yeah, no, it's that. I don't get why people.
That's his name. That's not like he like wrote the character. It's like
exactly. It's like we were like kind of
completely separate,
bagging on George Lucas, not on you. But that was cool that he was able to come back. He was in Ahsoka, and there was like the flashback where no, it was Mandalorian, and he was the Jedi that came and rescued Baby Yoda, Grogu. So that was cool. That was like a awesome like kind of throwback that he got to play a different character.
There's just so much of this. I've just missed too much, and it truly feels like there's no catching up because there's too many things.
Start from the beginning. Do Mandalorian and watch all that.
But like that requires like an app, and I'm not going to get that app.
I mean, preaching to the choir here. I can't argue with you. So. Any other final thoughts before we send this one off to bed?
I liked it.
Best movie ever made.
All right, cool. I get to write it.
That was my original trilogy, you know.
What was that?
It was my original trilogy: Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith.
And it meant so much to you, right?
Yeah, really hit home. Hayden really took it there.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it 3 times theatrically, and I didn't even like it. But it was like, I just had to keep seeing it to see maybe I was wrong. Yeah.
It was an event.
Yeah,
It was
exactly.
definitely an event.
It was social too. I went with different people for different screenings for sure. But
Yeah.
I didn't camp out. Did anybody camp out?
No.
Yeah. All right.
I saw it like on a weeknight after school when it was like deep into the run. Like it had to be that kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure.
No one was going any other time.
But yeah. So hopefully everybody out there has a copy, and if they don't, they can buy them from Ryan. Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, I have them too.
Oh yeah, Max has some too. Yeah, sorry I did leave you out.
I
in the
got a
cold.
spare two if you want it.
Yeah.
There we go.
Hayden, you got any copies?
I have the one.
We all have another copy.
Yeah. I just got rid of my
All trying to get
second.
rid of our copies.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a casual late release entry point. You know, it's affordable and it sounds fantastic and it's nice packaging. So there you go. All right,
It was a
everybody.
great film.
Yeah, and it's a great film. Yeah, sorry, I forgot to add that part. Thanks for hanging out for an extra long episode. We really had to dig into the Phantom Menace, though. So
Yes.
Yeah, it was fun.
yeah, we appreciate your dedication, and we'll be back again soon with what we don't know. What was the one we were supposed to watch? There's another bad. Waterworld. That's it.
Yeah, Waterworld or suggested conglomerate
Yeah.
films.
Yes, we need to do another homework assignment. I like
Yeah.
that idea that Hayden brought up, so he can make me watch a good film.
Yeah.
What? You don't want to watch it? Maybe we'll someone cool like Marcos will pick a cool movie for you, Ryan.
No, I would too.
I have to have it though.
Maybe you get paired with me and you get to watch anime.
You have to have it. Come on now. The chances I pick something you don't have, is not,
Right,
not
yeah.
likely.
Yeah, it'll be the easiest assignment ever.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we'll report back out there. You in the chat, tell us what you want to see, and maybe we'll talk about it. But anyways, have a great Memorial Day weekend, everybody. Happy real Star Wars Day in about 12 minutes or so. Celebrate and have a good time, and we'll be back.